True Mahafa, AGS Damari. Y'all know what time it is. Place your bets. Source up and shut up. Alpha Villain Dumb. Debate Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, leading the blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop on every op. Yeah, who wanna test me? Debate Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, leading the blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop on every op. Yeah, who wanna test? Stepper with a cane and top had to match. A Lord of Ice, supreme ruler. That's right in his act. Double or nothing, 2 for 1. That's how I'm coming. Do the math and do the knowledge. I'm March 100. And I stay reppin' that 5. Who wanna see me live? Got a murder man vibe. Bodies in my archives. When I up my source, just up the score cause it's a rap. And I be that more. You gon' remember he was cap called blabber lacking in his babble. Ran down on him. The real driller from Manila. I stood over homie. I took his fares. He was fake and he was false flag. And I'm here to rep that right way. And I'ma keep spazzing. Behind my people I stand on business. Yeah, I'm crashing out. And if you cross my golden path, yeah, I'm flashing out. Got a bucket list of future bodies in my inventory. My peer reviews are undisputed. You can keep the glory. Every appeal to authorities just to cry for help. And intellectual cowards, they die 1,000 deaths. Who really want it with me? I stay war ready. Round for round, got 100 slides. Who wanna test me? Debate Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, leading the blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop on every op. Yeah, who wanna test me? Debate Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, leading the blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop on every op. Yeah, who wanna test me? Godfather green light, I'ma whack 'em all. It's time to clean up the platform. True Mahafa, AGS Damari. Y'all know what time it is. Place your bets. Source up and shut up. Alpha Villain Dumb. Debate Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, leading the blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop on every op. Yeah, who wanna test me? Debate Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, leading the blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop on every op. Yeah, who wanna test? Stepper with a cane and top.
Hold up, man. Hold it up real quick. Music by Kemetian Adept, man. Y'all not listening to the lyrics, man. This brother is on the mic. This brother is fire on the mic. You pseudo sidelines. Debate Coliseum. All the rest of y'all is pseudo sideline. Let's go. Yeah. Kemetian Adept in the building. We're waiting on him to come in. That's why we watching him join.
You know what time it is. Place your bets. Source up and shut up. Alpha Villain Dumb. Debate Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, leading the blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop on every op. Yeah, who wanna test me? Debate Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, leading the blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop on every op. Yeah, who wanna test? Stepper with a cane and top had to match. A Lord of Ice, supreme ruler. That's right in his act. Double or nothing, 2 for 1. That's how I'm coming. Do the math and do the knowledge. I'm March 100. And I stay reppin' that 5. Who wanna see me live? Got a murder man vibe. Bodies in my archives. When I up my source, just up the score cause it's a rap. And I be that more. You gon' remember he was cap called blabber lacking in his babble. Ran down on him. The real driller from Manila. I stood over homie. I took his fares. He was fake and he was false flag. And I'm here to rep that right way. And I'ma keep spazzing. Behind my people I stand on business. Yeah, I'm crashing out. And if you cross my golden path, yeah, I'm flashing out. Got a bucket list of future bodies in my inventory. My peer reviews are undisputed. You can keep the glory. Every appeal to authorities just to cry for help. And intellectual cowards, they die 1,000 deaths. Who really want it with me? I stay war ready. Round for round, got 100 slides. Who wanna test me?
Right.
Baby Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, leave blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop in every op. Yeah, who wanna test me? The Baby Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, lead the blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop in every op. Yeah, who wanna test me? Godfather green light, I'ma whack 'em all. It's time to clean up the platform and tax 'em all. Know it like you owe it. The elder sent me for it. Retaliation is a must and that canopus bogus. It's pseudo killer be killed when I'm in the battlefield. They say steel sharp and steel, my real isn't real. Yeah, this that simmer talk and I'm ready to drill. Train to go and fully equipped to break that Roman seal. Grinding the powder and get power to the masses. If it's smoke, then it's smoke, I'ma get axed. Tell them come with it. Done did it, we split it, they can all get it. I got 7 deadly venoms, been sick with it. I can behead them in public and still get acquitted. I put in work on house niggas and tell them I hit them. I'm that runaway slave they wanna capture. I took the whip from his hand and punished master. He's just another widow son of a bastard. I wage war on infidels and call them Kafirs. If sa.neter give me that card in your chapter. Knowledge is power, test mine and I'ma smash it. Baby Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, lead the blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop in every op. Yeah, who wanna test me? The Baby Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, lead the blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop in every op. Yeah, who wanna test me?
Come on, man, y'all gotta stop talking when I'm putting my sound effects on. I'm saying oh for a reason. You see that young champion, the future champ in the building, god damn it. He ain't afraid to pop up in this month, huh? He ain't afraid. Y'all playing yourself. That's right. Yeah, what you talk that talk. The man didn't ask you nothing about what's important. He's asking you, he's challenging you to do something. Okay, he ain't asking y'all, is it important? Y'all was talking that bungo shit. The man popped up. He's challenging y'all.
Debate Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. The blind lead the blind. What? The blind lead the blind. Yeah, we waiting on my brother Kemetian. I just got off the phone with him. His computer is updating. It's updating. Anyway, what's going on, man? Anybody have any questions for me? Anything? Talk black to me, man. Anything y'all want to talk about before he get in here? Y'all know how I do. Y'all got the opportunity to talk to me. Hit that link if you want. Hit that link if you want. Boy, they keep on doing this to me, man. I don't know what it is, because there's a lot of people that be cursing and cussing up a storm. It's a lot of people that do that, and they still send out their notifications. I don't know what it is with me, man. You know, I'm gonna tell you something, right? I did this for a minute. I put up the video, I uploaded it and got it ready. They just sent me the notification about 5 minutes ago. And I've been had this ready. What's going on, Jose, man? What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
What's going on? Talk to me.
What was going on earlier in your channel, boy, man? They was coming out the woodwork, boy.
It was chaos. It was chaos.
Nah, man, you had to start a ban some of them from your channel, man. They're making you look bad, son.
Nah, they're not making me look bad. They're making themselves look bad, bro. Nobody can make me look bad but myself. Always remember that. Nobody can make sa.neter look bad but sa.neter.
That was a horrible display of it.
There's a lot of horrible displays going on.
Yeah, man.
There's a lot of horrible displays.
If you lose, man. Yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir.
That'll do better, man. that'll do better, sa.neter. That'll do better than that, man.
No. Everybody got to do better, including you. You got to do better, brother.
Well, I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to do better, sa.neter.
Nah, trying is a failure, brother. Trying is a
Well,
failure.
sa.neter, the one thing you can't accuse me of is coming on here doing that. I never did that.
Yeah, everybody is everybody. Who they are, brother. Everybody have different personalities. You got some nuts. You got pseudo nuts. You know, it's all out there.
When you gonna come on my channel, sa.neter?
When I'm gonna come on your channel and talk about what?
Anything you want to?
I'll check it out. I'll see what's up. You know,
No,
I've
I
been
want
getting
you
a
to.
lot of call outs for a lot of interviews, brother. If only you knew, I get a lot of people that want to do interviews. I'm talking about big people, not no little people.
What I'm
I'm
gonna be
talking about
honest, sa.neter.
big people, brother.
I'm gonna be honest, sa.neter. I'm just asking a favor to help him with his channel. I'm being honest with you. I'm humble enough to say that. There's nothing wrong with saying that.
Yeah, you gotta call brothers like Cube, man. Cube, bring Cube in. Cube will blow it up.
Nah, I want to keep my channel up to a certain level. I don't want them type of thing. I don't want no back and forth videos. I don't want that.
Man, you scared of information. Cube will light you up.
No, it's not that. I don't want that type of thing. If you look at my channel, you'll see how I keep my channel. I don't have no
Yeah.
response videos, nothing like that. I don't want to do that. I ain't ready for that yet.
Okay.
But you know, you're more than welcome to come on. You can bring the power whoever you want to bring on. It's not a problem. I would appreciate it. But you should take a look at it and see the content and tell me what you think about it.
All right, brother. I got my guest here. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Suntan, I'll get back to you, Suntan. All right. Kemetian, what up, man? I played your song about 3 times.
Yeah, you done read it?
Yeah, I played the song. Debate Coliseum. Sideline.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got plenty motion. The blind lead the blind. Facts. All facts right there. The blind.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, man, what's going on with you, brother? Good to see
You
you.
heard?
You're smiling. What's happening?
Yeah, man. All is well, brother. We on point. Just doing what we do, man. Uplifting fallen humanity, man, and working. In every
That's what it's
aspect.
all
You
about.
feel me?
Yes, sir. That's what it's all about. So talk about what you're gonna be talking about tonight.
Yeah, but you know I be tuned in to your channel though.
That's what's up, man. That's a good thing.
Well, yes, sir. Actually, what we gonna
You're going in and out. You want to make sure
sir.
you get your stuff right, get your mic right.
We're gonna pick up.
Yeah, you got to get your mic right, man. You're going in and out, brother.
Somewhat on where we left off in certain aspects. Let me see something. It's these apps trying to come in. Let me close all of them out.
Yeah.
I got so much. Say that again. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
better right now?
Yeah, that sounds a lot better.
Okay, yeah. They trying to fight to come in there. Some of them don't even want on the computer. But yeah, so basically we're gonna go into a grand drawing because I'm hearing a lot of Allah talk, you know, and some people just be talking out the side of their neck. You know what I mean? I'm hearing a lot of people that, you know, they really want to know what's going on. Now I done already did some cold measures in so. You feel me? The last one I did showing them that Allah and Yahweh is the same man.
Yeah, you killed that. You killed that.
Came to refute that. You know, they can disagree, but ain't nobody came to refute it. Also,
you working on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and so I got something even deeper that I went into this for the kill. Okay, hold up. Let me see this.
Yeah, you going in and out.
What I'm gonna do? Give me 1 second here. The crazy part about it. You know why I go to acting crazy? This is like supposed to be Hold up. It never do this right here. This is insane. I'm gonna refresh it real quick, okay?
All right.
Okay, let me refresh it.
He'll be right back in, family. We just got to refresh it. We want to get this thing right so he could be able to go in and teach. All right. Hopefully he's good.
Okay, do I sound a little better now?
You sound good for right now. You sound good.
What I might end up having to do, I may end up having to take my video down. You know what I mean? To pull from the thing. If it do something, if it keep glitching. I can't hear you what you saying, sir?
You mean cut your camera off?
Yeah,
right?
cut my
Yeah,
camera off.
that's good.
I may have to do that if it act up again, because last time I had to do that.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna present the information. So
yeah, you killed it last time. Nobody can mess with it. You know, nobody can mess with it.
yes, sir.
Ain't nobody refuted it yet. Lord Abbott talking all that stuff. He ain't refuted it yet.
And I seen that video him and Smash did. It was terrible. You see, remember, this is why I tell you this guy be on guesswork, sir. And he come at me on that. He up there. How you gonna go to acting like you know something and you beg and smash for the answer?
Oh,
and then you want to talk about the Moorish paradigm. Let's start right there real quick. That's terrible. Stay over there. What they call themselves, the United Sons and Daughters of. He done branch hop so many times. He done monkey branch so many times. I don't know.
You said monkey branch?
Yeah, he monkey branching. You know, he done went from limb to limb. 1 minute he was 5%, next minute he was a NOI, then he was a Moor, then he was a Nuwabi, and then he was Mason. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I met Lord Abbott and his pops. They was at my house. His father pretty cool, man. His father real cool. You know?
Right. Yeah, and I ain't got nothing against Lord Abbott.
Taller than him, I think. Lord Abbott tall.
Yeah?
His father bigger than him.
Right. Yeah, I ain't got no problem with the brother, you know, other than the fact that he attacked my flag and he attacked my chairman. That's what a big
flag.
Yeah, he attacked the Moorish flag.
Let me see. Not the Moorish flag.
The same one I got around my neck right here.
But he's a Moor. How he gonna do that?
Because he was following that ignorance. In under them brothers, he was called himself studying under, talking about that ain't the Moorish flag. And so we was telling them the flag the Moors have is the Moroccan flag. You know, and if you go to the United Nations talking about it's Moorish, they're gonna look at you like you crazy. So that's why the chairman, if you look at what the chairman put in here, he put all the quadrants in there. The star is still there, but the scimitar was added,
right?
And love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice in the quadrants was added. The reason the chairman did that,
Lord Abbott in the ring with you for a long time.
He's scared. He know what I'm gonna do to him. It's long overdue. These dudes know I ain't nothing to be played with, sir.
They know.
So what they try to act like, cause I ain't been in the YouTube streets. I've been out here teaching for 30 years. You feel me? And so what they know is I'm putting these facts up here. Everything I say, I got proof, primary sources, which I'm finna prove tonight that monotheism came from Kemetic.
Let's
and
get
I'm finna prove. I'm finna do this now.
Okay.
So let me get off into this thing. You gonna love this one, son. You gonna love this one. Like I say, I'm gonna unpack some. Yes, sir. I'm gonna unpack some more of from the presentation I was doing, because I got a lot in there I didn't present because it's just too much. I just too much research, man. You know, I do myself sometimes. So I want to rise upon the seven within the unbroken circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God Allah within, you know, and honors to his holy prophet, noble Drew Ali, honors to the ancestors, you know, honors to everything it is that's on the manifest when it comes to what was brought to us here in the West. You know, so we just say gratitude to you, those who are giving your listening ears. You see, in heart to sympathize and empathize with the truth. We love you. Everything is universal. sa.neter. If you don't know what that means Kemetically, you know that means life, health, and prosperity be upon you. You know, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go forth with this subject matter. I want to give honors to our brother sa.neter too for honoring us this platform. You know, the ancient Kemetic origins of the Allah Glyph and the Adept science of Islamism. First thing that you got to know, when we say Islamism, we're not talking about the practice of, because, you know, that's how they try to teach it, Islam and ism. You know, the ism that I'm speaking of come from the Arabic language as well, not the English word ism at the end, but the ism I'm speaking of has to do with the attributes, you know, of the great God, which work through us. See, when you get outside of spookism, you understand that these attributes can only work through us. You know, if somebody got to be loved and you talking about it's a God, then if God is within you, then that love is coming through a man. You know, it's coming through a woman. It's coming through a child. See, we got to leave the spooky stuff away. You are the manifestation, you know, this thing. We talked about it in our last group, you know, meeting that we had. And he even finished it off when we showed something from Ibn Arabi and Ibn Jali. You know, when he was speaking on the fact that these things that we consider our own, like our limbs, we think they belong to us, but they really belong to the God within you. So you just pretty much a conduit, you know, that's being utilized, you know, to do the work. When the Most High came and he manifested himself, you know, to the children of Israel the first time, he came as a man. And I ain't talking about as Jesus. He sat down and ate steak. Remember we were talking about that, sir? He ate bread. This is a physical man. You know, this ain't no spook. So now watch this. What I'm going to go into, I'm going to present my screen right now. And I'm going to do entire screen. And let me know when that's sharing, sir. Okay, there we go. Yes, sir. Okay, so we got that in there. And I'm going to hit my page because that's where I got a lot of my information at right here. Can you see that screen sharing, sir? If you speaking, I can't hear you, man.
Yes, brother. Yes, it's up there.
Want to make sure we got it here.
We're doing your sharing.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. So now, yes, sir. And this is not a measure to bring you into religiosity. Make no mistake about it. Truth be told, the name Yahweh itself come from Kemet. We already proved that. Ain't nobody came to debunk it. We had some people try to do some flim-flamming, but you know, that's neither here nor there. The Allah Glyph, I showed Kemetically, but what I'm finna show you is how many times in a particular dynasty where monotheism was first taught that this glyph shows up, not only in the Demotic, like I showed you before, not only, you know, in other aspects, but it shows up in the hieratic, and it shows up in other areas where the language was reverse engineered. And I'm gonna show you what I mean here. So I got a lot of this stuff right here on my Facebook page. You know, I just put, because that's what I use it to teach. I use my page to teach. So it's a lot of information out here. And watch this. This is crazy. This is insane. And I'm gonna show you where these things come from as well. This first image right here, I want to present right here. And I'm gonna show you the website where this come from as well. Very important. If anybody know what reverse engineering is, it's when you take something and make it other than what it was, you know, and basically recreate a thing or repackage it, so to speak. And I tell our people all the time that when you deal with the pictorials, or what we call meta, you know, that there's a lot of metaphysical function, not only metaphysical, but there's what you call stoicheion. If you don't know what stoicheion is, it's what we call gematria, not gematria, but gematria. You know, it deals with numbers and everything, you know, when you get into it. But I'm going to do something on that later. But I want to show you something. This is what is often depicted as the remet, you know, of Kemet, when they depict, you know, people, so to speak. you know, and these are what they call determinatives. This is not an alphabet like that, you know, the one that Champollion called itself created. Neither one of these you will find as an A, B, C, or G, or none of that. But this is demotic right here. Now, there's something that's very powerful about this, because this is the image of a man having his hands raised up. Now, we seen the brother Smash try to speak on this as a representation of cowardice, because he didn't want to admit to Lord Abba, you know, that basically overseer, you know, mean the word mar or mir or more, you know, but that's neither here nor there. I done did presentation on Saw channel about that as well. If you look at this particular image here, though, with the outraised arms, you know, which is really a symbol of praise and adoration, Kemetically. This is what they reverse engineered, you know, they reverse engineered this determinative, you know, from this actual demotic glyph. Now you look at it, you say, well, okay. Then they say, well, this right here is supposed to be the same thing as this man here. This isn't demotic now. But there's a thing that I'm going to show you. You know how we talk about arm, leg, arm, head. We see that right here. You see the two arms, you see the two legs, and you see the head. So we know that arm, leg, arm, head, often by not only the Moors, but the 5% nation, NOI. You know, they always use that as an expression of saying that the great God Allah is working through man. A man is God. But there's something even more powerful about this glyph. This is demotic. Watch this. When you turn this glyph on his back, you see an expression, not only the arm, leg, arm, head, but this is actually, this ain't coincidental neither. I'm going to show you this. You see actually a glyph that looks just like the Allah glyph. You see what I'm talking about, Saw? Because I know you've been looking at the Allah glyph for the longest. This would be the A, and this is your L, and your H, right? Watch this. This ain't nothing here. This is just the beginning. Watch this. Now, I want to go into my breakdown of this. And then I'm going to get into my other information. Watch this. We're getting ready to go all the way in. Because when I get to the real aspect of what it is that I'm bringing forth, ain't going to be nobody out there that can refute this. And if they do, they're going to look crazy. You know, and I post all my research to my page, you know, after I did it. So what I said here, right? Just like I was speaking earlier, I said Remet, man, in Seket, Insha. For those who don't know what Seket Insha is, that's what you call demotic. That's the proper terminology that the Kemites call it. Seket Insha is called demotic. So I say, look at what's hidden in plain sight. I have more to unpack. Allah's divine humor is grade A, arm, leg, arm, head. So in other words, I'm saying whether you are atheist or you a disbeliever, unbeliever, when you use that statement and you say arm, leg, arm, head that we done heard for years, you can say you don't believe in the Most High all you want to, but do you think it's coincidental that your 5 limbs are called arms, legs, and arm, head, and that when you eliminate every letter behind them, the name Allah is there? Do you think that that's by chance? For those who got sense, I call it divine humor. Because in the Quran, it says that the 5 limbs of man will bear witness against him. His own limbs going to speak again. That's the Allah that's going to judge you through your own action. Not no spookism. Not no spooky being out in space somewhere. But your actions, your ways, and your deeds. So arm, leg, arm, head, these are the limbs of a man. So when you take this symbol that was reverse engineered into the determinative, and they saying this is the symbol, and they put it here, and like I say, when you turn it over, you can see the expression of the Allah glyph here. Now watch this, if you think I'm playing. Watch this. Another one. And I'm going to show you exactly where, these measures come from, the actual source. I'm just showing you these things right now. This is another one. This is another reverse engineered determinative. And this is actually the determinative that's used for neter. And you see it says man and anthropomorphic gods. So this is neteru, with the long beard. I'm going to show that to you in a minute. You've seen it a couple of times. Notice the number here in the Unicode that they have up here. They got the A0990, right? Which is powerful, right? I thought about the 99 attributes, right? But we're going to go deeper. This is coming from a particular source. 9 times 10 is 99. I'm dealing with a little stoicheion gematria or Kemetria real quick. You see this? It says first intermediate period. This is in the 9th and the 10th dynasties. I'm going to show you the sources for this now. Neri. This is supposed to be the same depiction of the man standing up. But this is hieratic this time, or what we call Meteorate and Kemet. Meteorate and Kemet is called hieratic, in the Greek. Meteorate and Kemet is the proper way of saying it. They say Ra-e-nimi. No, it's Meteorate and Kemet. Like you have sa.neter, which is the words of God. Meteorate and Kemet mean the language of the ancient Egyptians. That's what it means, the language. So this first intermediate period, we find this symbol, which was reverse engineered again from the same demonstration here. And I'm going to show this to you. I'm just unpacking it right now. This symbol, reverse engineered from the actual letter, we could say glyph, is right here. Look at this. Now, what happened when you turn this one horizontal as well? Watch this. We can't make this stuff up, people. Look at that. That's another expression where you can see the same form of the Allah glyph. And there are many different ways to write the name Allah. A-L-L and the H. I'm talking about the Arabic Allah glyph. And if you think this funny, you ain't seen nothing yet. If you think this is a joke, what I'm showing you right now, watch this. So I went from Demotic and I went to hieratic. Okay. And so what I stated here, I said here, neter equals deific will, of spirit man clothed with soul made in the form of Allah, depicted standing upright, independent, and fearless in the Meteorate and Kemet. You see, hieratic Egyptian. The anthropomorphic God man in the hieratic grapheme speaks for itself. 9 times 10 equals 99. The Unicode, A99, and 0 has been cracked. A099 and 0 has been cracked. Need I say more? And I was really speaking on the divine attributes, because it's 99 attributes that's attached to, the concept of Allah. So here we have again a man being depicted, and the actual glyph that come from that. When you turn this demonstration over, they call them heratograms or graphemes. When you turn it over, it shapes. It comes forth with that, the A-L-L and the H again. Watch this. If you think it's a game. Now here's another measure. This one is coming from the Old Kingdom in the 5th dynasty of Nursery. The Old Kingdom 6th dynasty, Pepi II, Nefertari. Look at this, right? This is in the Middle Kingdom, 12th dynasty, in these areas. Look at this symbol here, right? And I'm going to show you what it was reverse engineered into. It was reverse engineered into this symbol, which says parts of the human body. Why are these parts that form the human body, all of them, in some type of way going back to the symbolism, that actually goes back to the Allah glyph? That would be your A-L-L and your H right there. Just a different way of writing it, because everybody write a different style. And this shouldn't be surprising to anybody, because you got to remember the Arabs descend from the Egyptians. Ishmael you know, according to the biblical text and, you know, even Quranic history, Ismail's mother, Hagar or Hajar, she was Egyptian. So it shouldn't be a surprise that certain traits or certain characteristics or certain aspects of the culture would come down through generations, right? So I say this one is for those who think the arm of Allah has been weakened. And then I place A, L, L, and H. Very strong is the grip of thy Lord. When Allah becomes the hand of power and authority by which man sees his possession. And I quoted the Grand Quran or the Great Quran, Surah 85 and 12. And I say, it is not ye who slew them. It was Allah when thou threw us a handful of dust. It was not thy act, but it was Allah's in order that he might test the believers by gracious trial from himself. For Allah is he who heareth and knoweth all things. And I quoted the Quran again, Surah 8, Ayat 17. What I'm saying here, this was a time when it was saying that when the Muslims go to war, it wasn't, you know, them that did it. It was Allah that did it. That's a grand key in and of itself. In other words, you may be participating in the act, but if this is Allah doing it, and you are the one demonstrating the act, then what is that saying? That's saying that Allah is using you as a conduit to do his work. And that's what I was talking about earlier. We touched on this in our last measure when I was telling y'all about how when you get a raise, first thing you holler, you know, is praise be to the Most High. You know, so are you talking about that boss that gave it to you? Are you talking about the Most High? So this is the concept. I've seen in the Piscean records of what we call the Bible, where Allah said that he will make Israel his battle axe. And the Israelites who know what I'm talking about know what I'm saying. And with them, he will break down nations. I've seen that in the Bible. So if the people doing the act represents God demonstrating the act, then it's letting you know the reality of God is working through the people. And it ain't nobody that special. The Most High can work through somebody that you might feel like is an antagonist to you. You see? Because he said he create good and he make evil. So if somebody is evil and they're antagonist to you, then yeah, the Most High can actually be utilizing that person, you know, to whip you straight, so to speak. If you out of line, oh, you don't want to deal with it the right way, so we're going to get rid of the spookism. I'm finna put somebody on your trail, you know, that's going to give you hell, basically. You know, I'm going to put a woman in your life going to give you hell. You know, I'm going to put an employer, you know, in your life that's going to give you hell, you know, because you want to be disobedient. You know, this is how, you know, supreme reality work. It ain't no spookism. And then ain't nobody spared. Just because you righteous and you so-called holy and divine, don't mean you ain't going to get touched or you ain't going to get singed. Even Jesus, according to the Bible, they say he was singed. You know, he had to suffer. Prophet Muhammad in the Quran had to suffer. You see, even though they was messengers of the supreme being. So let's get into the reality. You a representative of God. And you ain't got to be no holy or then thou individual to be that. If he gonna use you to demonstrate an example, that's what it is. So that's the reality of the supreme being made simple. So anyway, like I said, you know, when you got out there, thought you was slaying somebody on the battlefield, it wasn't you, it was Allah that was slaying them. Even though it was you that was demonstrating the act. You get it? And if it say your 5 limbs gonna bear witness against you, how plain can it be? That's all that's the real God that's gonna judge you. It's you, yourself. I know a lot of our Orthodox Muslims saying, astaghfirullah right now. No, brother, I'm telling you, this is the reality of God. And he wouldn't bless me as he do if I was lying to y'all out here. Because every prayer that I pray, it never come back void, family.
Wake them up.
You see what I'm saying?
Wake these people.
I couldn't be blessed if I was out here lying to y'all. He said he would seize Muhammad by his heart in the Quran if he lied. So what make you think he gonna spare Kemetian if I'm up here lying? Right or wrong, sir? He said he would grab him by his heart. Now watch this. This is the grand key right here, sir, that remove all doubt out of all them glyphs I showed him. Watch this. So I said, well, let me go back to monotheism. Akhenaten was said to be the individual that instituted the concept of the worship of the one God. The Atendis was a symbol of that. In fact, the rays that come from the disc have hands at the end. In my paradigm, the Moorish paradigm, under our teaching, the Moorish Science Temple don't teach this. We teach that the hand is symbolic to the mind due to its ability to shape, to mold, to obtain, and retain. You know, this is what you do with the hand. So we say the hand is symbolic to the mind. So those hands coming from the Adendis to us, now we're going to give you some Kemetic Adept signs. Those hands represent reaching out from the heavens, or we say wisdom speak from out of the highest plane of spirit life. So those hands coming down from the heaven going in many different directions represent the truths that have went to many nations. That means that what came through Islam that was influenced by Kemet is at the end of the teacher, you know, who brought the knowledge, the wisdom, and understanding. Muhammad brought a particular teaching. So a ray coming from that Adendis can be traced back to Kemet. Yehoshua or Jesus or Yahshua brought a ray, according to the text, to his particular people. And we already know the alphabet of the Israelite can be traced straight back to Kemet. And the same thing, if we went into Hinduism, you can see elements of Kemet even there, due to their root coming from what we call Kush. For those who don't know, when you talk about the untouchable or the Dravidians, or those who are the darkest hue, heavy melanated out of India, the Kushites, they derive indirectly from a people who was in the same Nile Valley civilization. So you had the Meru Kushites. Some people say Meroe, which is where you get Meroitic from. You see, and then these were the ones along the Nile Valley civilization. Then you had those who migrated further, those Kushites who went into India. And most of them will be found in the southern region, because when you look at those hordes that came out of, some people say the Caucasus Mountains, the Hikakasut, the Amu, what we like to call the troglodyte nigger, you know, which is what the European called themselves. I didn't call them that. That's what they call themselves, cavemen. So they came down, and all the darkest seed you will find mostly, even in, you know, the Kemetic area, the darkest seed is in the south, being pushed down by the hordes that come out of the mountain that infiltrated, you know, during the time of 3100 BC, the uniting of Lower Kemet. This is when they started entering in, you know. We know this. I'm just giving basic history that everybody know. But when you go into India, it was the same thing. They came down, and the people that come down, they pushed them down into the lower region. So you have those of a lighter hue that were always oppressing the people that were on the bottom. So there's a symbolic measure, but they didn't know that really if you did with one of our maps from Africa and you flip that map from Africa upside down, which was created by the Moors, that was a Moorish map, you know, dealing with a Kibalon, which was also a name that was given by the Moors, you know, but that map represented Upper Kemet. That's why if you look at Upper Kemet, this is what a true seed was. Lower Kemet is in the north. Anybody that know the teaching know what I'm talking about. So, again, in India, they also inherited a particular teaching that comes from Kemet. The Sumerians, though people try to say, well, Sumer is older than Kemet. Well, biblically, Sumer is a seed of Cush. You see? So that's a whole nother measure. Nimrod himself was referred to as a Cushite. according to the biblical aspect, if you believe, those things. So what I'm showing you here, these are temple furnishings. Now you say, well, what that got to do with what I'm going to show you what it got to do with what I'm talking about. I'm showing you all these reverse engineered symbols that were taken. And I'm going to show you again what a source is. Look at this. That is the symbol for nature that I just showed y'all, family. At least one of them. Those three, some people call them flags, some people call them axes. You can say both of them if you want to, because in my flag, we have a symbol. I just showed it to y'all earlier that come from the family of the axe. It's a scimitar. It represents justice taking its course. And that's the Adept symbol that was brought to us by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So if you want to say that the scimitar, represent God, I can dig that. Or even if you were to say it represents the flag, 3 flags that they were showing there. This is the actual hieratic that they were trying to say that symbol that I just showed y'all represented. Now, this is the symbol for nature. And we know nature means, well, they translate it as God. Look at this symbol for nature. This is what I'm talking about when I speak of the proto-Allah glyph that existed way before even Muhammad. And notice where it was used during the dynasty of Akhenaten. The same dynasty that monotheism came into being. So I'm telling you that indirectly, the Arabs inherited this symbol. And I showed it to you also in Demotic. I'm going to show it to you again in the Demotic language. But this is the proto-Allah glyph. Arm, leg, arm, head. This is the H. This is the ALA. This is it. I'm saying that that's what it became to the Arabs. This symbol. In hieratic, it was an expression for nature, which means God. But this is the same symbol that forms the name that is referred to as Allah. Watch this, if you think I'm playing. In the 18th dynasty now, when monotheism was first, created, so-called. Now, you've seen the symbol here. Now, let me show you this symbol. Look at this. This is the Allah glyph now. And look at that. You see that, Sa? How is it possible?
Yeah, I see it.
This insane, bro, that you can actually see right here now. You can actually see the word nature. This is nature from the 18th dynasty when monotheism was first established. This symbol was used for the word God. And you can't tell me that that don't look exactly spot on with the name Allah. Only Kemetian can bring this type of stuff to your family, because I dig deep. So I said nature equals Allah, period. Akhenaten established the monotheism we proclaim today, straight out of Kemet. When you reverse engineer the grapheme back to its original hieratic sign, and what they call the cryptographic linguistic veil is lifted. This hieratic ligature, because that's what that is, it's a ligature. What I'm calling a glyph is really called a ligature. This ligature, though used for nature during Akhenaten's time, during the 18th dynasty, it is attested as far back as the 3rd dynasty of the Remet Kemet. In other words, the people of Kemet. So I showed you, not only in the Demotic, how these different forms are, portions of the body or the whole body itself. All of these things are coming up in the form of dealing with the name Allah. That's insane. But not in a bad way, But you can't get out of that. You can't get past the fact that that's nature. And that this glyph that the Arabs come up with, coming through an Egyptian lineage indirectly, because they got some of that in them, the word Allah is there. Now I'm going to show you where I pull these things from. I didn't just write and make this stuff up. I didn't come up with this stuff. I didn't create it. But I'm going to show you the sources. And what I'm going to do, let's see here, because I got to go into that in a second. And it ain't going to take me long to do this right here. Okay, here we go. And I'm gonna hit a download. I'm just open up a random document because I got to do this to go into my area. Let's see here. That's a picture. Come on. I got so much stuff up here. It's crazy. Okay. Here it is. Let's see. Okay, this right here allowed me to go into where I'm going because I got to go here to get into my information. Okay, here we go. So this is my, and really go into it. This was actually wrote by somebody that corrected Gardenia about what he was trying to come up with. It'll tell you that these symbols were reverse engineered, into pictures. And that's why a lot of our people confused today. But I'm going to go deep on that in another time. So let's go into the symbol that I pulled up a few minutes ago. And they show you everything here. Let's see. I may just be able to scroll into it. I want to go directly. Okay, there you go. Right there, they came open. So all of these symbols right here. Let me pull it up. Where you at? Okay. This is D218 here. This was the one symbol that I showed you all. So you can see where I got that from. This is only attested to these two areas right here, the same that I cropped out. So y'all don't think I made this stuff up. Look at that. Same measures here. Right? Okay. Now watch this. Let's keep it moving. I love that sa.neter glyph. That sa.neter glyph. That's a part of sa.neter name. Them three so-called flag poles are the three axes. We call it the triune expression of the Most High. Wisdom, will, and love. Okay. Let's see here. Where you at? We can't make this stuff up, family. We can't make this stuff up. Okay. All right. This is some powerful information. I'm telling y'all, better pay attention. We literally proven to you all that the sa.neter glyph, here you go, right here. Temple furnishings is what they're referring to this as, right? That's what the European like to call it. So we went down to the 18th dynasty. They had more in here. We can see the calligraphy expression of this right here. But I specifically went to the 18th dynasty because it was the dynasty in which Akhenaten founded monotheism. We can go through many different aspects of it. Took on many different forms. This is hieratic, people. Something that these so-called people, I could have went here into the 20th dynasty and showed you most definitely the evolution of this, and you can see the Allah glyph all up in there. But I went specifically here because this is sa.neter, people. For those who don't know, this is sa.neter. And I'm going to prove it to you. Watch this. I got another source. For those who think it's a game. Or we don't play, we come strapped over here. Okay? So, what we going to do? I may be able to just type it in. Let's see. I may be able to just type it in. If not, I know how to pull it up. And this right here is a hieratic database, family. Okay, then pull it down. We'll do it this way then. Let's see if we give it to me here. Let me see if it'll let me pull it down. Then let me pull it down. Come on. Let's see. Let me see here. Pull it this thing up here. Okay. Let's see. Not that one, not that one. Oh, I might be able to put it through this. Let's see. All right. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Here we go. So they're showing you the singular expression. Y'all know this is nature for the symbol. This is the reverse engineered aspect, dynasty 3. You know, for the symbol for nature. And they are telling you this what we call heratogram, you know, that these are the symbols. Now watch this. Now this is when they triple them up. Same symbol, right? And it goes into nature root, right? And look, this is where a lot of the symbols came from. See, it says Dynasty 18. Let me blow that up a little bit. Dynasty 18, the Dynasty of Akhenaten. Same symbols that I'm showing y'all right up in here. And they take on various different forms. I'm telling you, here it is again. In Dynasty 25, they actually have some even better expressions of them right here. Look at that. I'm telling you, the Arabs stole this. We ain't gonna say they stole, we're gonna say they inherited. You know, they inherited this Allah glyph from the nature sign. So, do you see that?
Yeah, I see
That's
it.
insane. That's insane. And now this is hieratic. A lot of y'all ain't familiar with hieratic because y'all been stuck on the reverse engineered pictures. But that, if that ain't a Allah glyph right there, I don't know what to tell you. And the Arabs took that form of nature because they understood it to be God, Neteru, and so forth and so on. And they adopted it into their culture and they called it Allah. Even though the word Allah itself come from Kemet as well. I proved that already. The word Yahweh come from Kemet as well. I proved that already. And nobody came to refute it. If they come, tell them I say come. And they're going to lay where they play. Look at that. The same symbol that represents the Neteru and the nature ends up representing the name Allah. We cannot make this up. Kemetian didn't create this website. This is where all the hieratic is. This is how I learned, you know, the hieratic myself studying these particular measures here. You know, it's a lot of information on every word that was reverse engineered. This is Moeller's information too, by the way. You know, powerful. Allah glyph all over the place. So if Allah don't represent arm, leg, arm, head, and he ain't working through man, if you can't see that right there, then I don't know what to tell you. That's crazy. Monotheism originated from Kemet. Not Islam, not Prophet Muhammad, not Jesus or Yehoshua. And their concept of monotheism now was not like the traditional aspect of what we call monotheism right now. You know, because they talk about monotheism, they're just saying God is one. In Kemet, the term monotheism represents what we call the grand idea that precludes to monotheism, which means not only is God one, but he is one with man. Orthodox Muslims wouldn't agree with me on that. They'll say, brother, that's shirk, that's biddah. Astaghfirullah. But that's the Kemetic teaching on what we call monotheism. God and man are one. God and the people are one. So the people themselves should be one. So if your monotheism doesn't bring oneness between you and the Most High, or we call it linking our will up with the deific will, our will becoming absorbed in the deific will, to the extent where Allah say he using you as his battle axe, or he say when you toss up sand or you slay your enemy, it wasn't you that did it, it was him. Oh man, we making it plain tonight. It don't get no plainer than this. Also, if your monotheism doesn't bring oneness between the people, You can say you Muslim. You can say you Hebrew. You can say you Hindu, whatever you say you are. If your monotheism doesn't bring unity between the community, then something is wrong with your concept of God. And that's why it's so hard for people to come together in oneness, and they with the religious gang banging, because they're not following the Ma'atic path. Even those who claim to be Kemet affiliated, if you have not come into oneness with other people, regardless of what they believe, if you beefing with somebody, man, you living, in diametrical opposition to the 42 laws of Ma'at. You can talk that talk all you want. You can talk that mud all you want to. But if your chematology or your Ma'atology or whatever you want to call it, if you are not dealing with unity, if you are not dealing with harmony, if you're not dealing with what we call harmony, truth, balance, right, order, and justice, that's where our 5-pointed star come from. In my circle, we don't try to hide the truth. Our 5 points, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, are an outgrowth of harmony, truth, balance, right, order, and justice. That comes from Kemet. Harmony is love. Truth is truth. Harmony, truth, balance. Balance is when you're peaceful. So that's love, truth, peace. Freedom and justice. Harmony, truth, balance, right, order, and justice. Right order is based upon freedom. So we ain't got no problem telling you what we have comes straight out of Kemet. Even when it comes to the concept of the Moorish Holy Quran and everything Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought in that, Kemet is in it. Kemet is in it. In fact, the 18 missing years of the life of Yahushua or Jesus that we call the Circle 7, and they ain't the lie talking about it come from Levi H. Dowling, I debunked that all years ago. I got paperwork where Dowling didn't even say that he was the writer or the author. They say he got it from the Akashic records. So y'all want to talk about pseudo, but you believe that Levi got the circle, what we call the, Moorish Holy Quran. His documents, he'll tell you they came from India. They came from Sanskrit manuscripts. I got proof of this, right? I done did videos on this stuff. We cannot make this up, family. We're going to keep bringing you this truth, though. So now, deeper into the subject matter, right? Like I said, 18 missing years of dealing with the life of our brother Yahushua, and where was he? The Bible tells you in the age of 12, he went into Kemet. He was took there for protection. He was reared and raised up by Egyptian Adept masters. He was raised up and taught by priests. We're going to do a show on that too in the future. I got the teaching where he actually went through the Egyptian Adept degrees. And they just so happen to be the same degrees that Prophet Noble Drew Ali went through. I wonder how that happened. But that's a whole nother message. So his name is even Kemetic. Did you know the name Yeshua, actually comes from a Kemetic root as well? But we'll teach on that at another time. So, as I was pointing out, recall that sa.neter was used and the symbols for it was used during the time of Akhenaten, who was the establisher of the Atendis. The Atendis is again symbolic to the truth, a spiritual sun that shine rays of truth to the nations. So everybody is in debt to Kemet when it comes to the knowledge. We don't hide this. See, a hierophant, for those who don't know, is one who reveals the light. We don't conceal the light. Hierophants put the truth out there and tell you the truth. So that's what my duty is. And I didn't call myself a hierophant. That was conferred upon me by my chairman, an adept that was actually taught by the wives of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. An adept that was taught by adepts that was made adepts by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So what we have come directly from the man himself. And for those who don't know, in our book, with all the chapters of the Moorish Holy Quran, we talk about everything it is that deals with Yehoshua being initiated in the pyramids. And he was told to contemplate the meanings of the hieroglyphs. He wasn't given no dictionary created by Champollion or no Europeans. He was told to sit and look at the meanings upon the walls and contemplate the meaning and contemplate his own frame, his state of being. He was told to find himself by observing the metal netter. And that same methodology was taught by Hor Apollo. It was taught by Pope Clement of Alexandria. And there are a couple of more that were considered priests even. Champollion wasn't even considered a priest. These men were considered priests, but you want to write them out of history. Who is better to accept a methodology from? An actual priest of Kemet or some European Johnny come lately who came and created a hodgepodge of information that was even condemned by his own French government? Or that dictionary that Champollion created? Because it was one they say they had, but they never would let it be published. I wonder why. But that's a whole nother measure. So I'm showing you exactly. I'm gonna go deeper into the slides that I never went all the way into. Trying to get this stuff here up off my thing here. That's why you don't download no anything. Get out of there, I see. Okay, there we go. And this is presented to you by none other than what is known, family, as the Egyptian Adept Research Sultanate session. You can see us too, on Saturdays and Sundays, a lot of time teaching this stuff. And I went over a lot of this in my last presentation, but there are certain things I want to point out because there's so much. Sa talk about this all the time, about the concept of the Kaaba. And the Kaaba is really just a rendition of the Benben. That's all it is. They talk about Mecca, but Kemetically, the word Mecca means to turn, or run towards. We tell our people that true east is within. It's not outside of the self. It's not a direction you face. It's within. So you are facing the Allah that is within you. Oh yeah, I told you, this teaching right here is a lot different from what them Arabs teach. Like I said, they'll want to shoot me for what I'm talking about right now. They'll want to assassinate your brother Kemetian for talking like this. A stock for Allah. You got some of the Negroes right here on the channel that think they orthodox and think they know the truth and they want to be more Arab than an Arab. They don't like what I'm saying, but it's the truth. So when you look at the concept of the ka in the ba, this right here represent what's within you. We know this. Everybody know this right here. They borrowed it from Kemet. We talk about this all the time. And I'm not trying to, we got to use the hammer of repetition to beat the truth into some of our people. You know what I mean? We have to go back over this stuff. But I want to show you some things that I wasn't able to show you. Because I always show our people certain things. I showed our people a while back, but it went over their head. I showed them how when you go to the Kemetic language, Tara, who is the one that commenced creation in the being as a giver of life, when you go into the Arabiya or Mudaric Arabic, look at what this word means in the Arabiya. Adam, seed, offspring, progeny, children. Well, ain't that's the same as Tara, he who commenced creation in the being? But this is the cause. This is the effect. Tara, in Kemetic aspects, that combination, and Dara in the Arabic is most definitely the same. But look at what it becomes in the Hebrew. It becomes Zara. See, this is what we call a strong word. This is how I fact check my words when I deal with Kemet, because I know the words originate from a Kemetic source. And then they unfold into other cultures. Everybody took something from Kemet. See it? Zara, 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 and Zara are the same in sound shift. Going back to Kemet, the cause, this is my work. That's how I fact check words. I can trace them back in a triangle or pyramid expression, and I can do it with other languages as well. I'm just showing you how close the etymological root is. This is Ta, calling creation into being. Manifesting, we know the block, often represents materialism. This represents the rise, of life. This is a semicircle, but it represents the rise of life to materialize after he speaks life into existence and vibrates the ethers, so to speak. That's what this represents. You want to know how Kemetian break these things down there, and that's just light work. I'm just giving you that from that aspect. Look at this symbol that they call the twisted flax. This doesn't represent the twisted flax to Kemetian. This represents the life strain. When he spoke that life into existence and it vibrated, everything was manifested. This is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in ancient Kemet before the European came up with the term. So you see Ta and you see Ra. Look at the symbol of the circle. This is a universal symbol. At the center, this is Ra. And it's a reason why I'm showing you this. This is a symbol that's used in Freemasonry. It's sacred to the Sufis. The circle with the dot in the middle, the dot in the middle of the bot, as they call it. This is Tara. This represents the expression of life. Come on, man, stop playing. Watch this. It's the same thing with the word bara. For those who don't know, when you look at the word kepera or kepri, he who is self-created. Let's go into the Moabic, or like they call it Canaanite. Let's go into the Mudaric Arabic again. B is interchangeable with P. So para or pre, becomes in the Hebrew, as they like the Canaanite, bara, bari sheep. What? To create something from nothing. Well, guess what? It means the same thing in the Arabic. Bara and bari. This is how you know that the Arabs and the Hebrews both came from the line of Ibrahim. It's because of the language. We showed some of that to you too as well in our last message. All these things have to be mentioned as we're going into this, family. We can't make this stuff up. Everything that we teach, according to more science, can be traced back to Kemet that we teach. See, in the Egyptian book of the Hidden Chambers, these symbols were held by the Neteru. You see what they have in their hand? They got stars in their hands, right? And scimitars in their hand. And then you wonder what Prophet Noble Ali came up with this symbol, scimitar and star from. This ain't Shrineism. This is way before Shrineism. That scimitar and star, if you think I'm playing, this is from Wallace Budge's work right here. The Kafesh. Look at what it's called. See the leg of the ox, as they call it? Some people say cow. It's above a star here. They call it the constellation of the scimitar. Right? The Great Bear. This is the Big Dipper, family. Look at this. We can't make this stuff up. So if you wonder why our flag have a scimitar and a star in it, it's a Kemetic symbol. I'm giving you Adept signs. Here's another definition on it. The Kafesh, constellation of Musketti, the great bull. Scimitar above the star with Neter sitting down right in front of it. This is the scimitar, constellation of the scimitar. What Lord Abba or Blabber was trying to talk about, talking about Mount Meru. He don't teach this. Lord Abba can't think on this level. When has he ever taught you about the true Mount Meru? Outside of just saying it's India or saying that there's one in Africa. I'm telling you, Mount Meru represents the constellation of the Great Bear. again, or the constellation of the scimitar, or what they also call the gate of God, what they also call the mouth of God. For those who don't know, the star that is there, that is rotated around by the Big Dipper, is known as the North Star. The same star that the Moors used to navigate and circumnavigate when they was traveling. The same one that the slaves used when they were trying to find their way back home, or when they took journeys. Y'all don't hear me. So this word Meru unfolds into Mira, Mesura. They say Misr in Arabic, or Mazaro. In the book of Job, the question is asked, who is able to place Mazaro in the earth? The constellation of the Great Bear. And the earth really refers not to the physical earth you walk on, but in the body. Where is this located in the body? We teach that we sheath the scimitar in our mind and the star within our heart. So that's the deep symbolic meaning between about this symbol right here that was brought by Noble Drew Ali. Scimitar and star. I'm giving you the adept science of Islamism right now. Mitzrayim. Same thing. Look at this if you think I'm playing. When you go into the celestial origins of the concept of the scimitar, these are symbols of the Orisha, if you can see the silhouette. Upon the crown of the man is the scimitar. This is the Orisha crown. Go look it up. Ashin, who we call Ishin. In the Adept, they got mad at the chairman too because they said he gave up the Adept word when he put it in the book. But this is the female, the feminine. A star, a scimitar and star in Orisha. Guess what? They say God is white. White mean purity. Purity mean God. God mean the rule of the land. That's what Noble Drew Ali taught in the 101. That's the teaching of the Orisha. Not talking about no white man or no European. It's talking about a state of consciousness, a state of purity. That's what it's talking about. Get it straight. Right? Now watch this. For those who think it's a game. Here's a symbol of what is known as the tetragrammaton. If you notice, the scimitar is beneath the star here. Elepis Levi and a couple of more of the occultists adopted this symbol. You know, with the scimitar beneath the star, but Noble Drew Ali was the one to raise the scimitar above the star. You see, all this is a representation of man. It's the arm, leg, arm, head. You see, this is where they adopted it from. See the symbol of Dharmaism here? This is where it came from, the Hinduist Kushites, this particular symbol. This is actually a Moorish coat of arms with the same scimitar. Why is this symbol showing up all over the world, people? This was during the medieval time of the Moors in, Spain and so forth and so on. This is an actual shield with the scimitar above the star. So Noble Drew Ali didn't get that from the Masons. He got it from antiquity. That's where he got it from. You can see the symbolism that was created from what they call a Zulfikar, the scimitar that was given to Muhammad. And then the star, which represented his family. It represented Muhammad, Ali, Fatima, and their sons Hussein and Hassan. So these particular ones, represented what they call the 5 purified ones. So the scimitar that was given to Muhammad by the angel Jibril, the Zulfikar, the sword of Ali, which he had, they say the sword of Allah. All of that is symbolic to the family and the consciousness that was brought there. That's Sufism. But the star of the Magi, again, that was adopted by the European occultists. See, this is some more of their stuff and their esoteric mysticism. See, they got the scimitar beneath the star again now. And look at the man here. It's a representation of man. So the reason why the scimitar is above the star, because the scimitar represents consciousness to us. Again, that's Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I tried to show this a while back when Lord Abba first came on defecating on the platform one time. And you can see this as a spinning jump ring. And every medallion like this always has the scimitar and the star on one side and a law and the 7 on the other. I don't care what color that you find. If you know the Moors, you done seen this symbol before. But again, this symbol came straight out of Kemet. I just showed it to you what it's called. It's called the confession. See, this is the expression again of the gateway. This is the Big Dipper. You know, and then you can see the symbol, of course, of our Adept seal with Heru lifting up the scimitar above the 5 principles in the fez on it. So that's really overkill when it comes to showing you. And if you think it's a game, if you really think it's a game, here's some measures coming straight up out of the culture of China. Not that one right there, parts of that was actually, this is a portion of it right here, Taoism. Look at this teaching on Taoism and meditation. You see the symbol right here with the Big Dipper rotating around the star? This is what is said to be going on in the consciousness of man. This shows you how to open up the centers of the spiritual self. You know, right there. And this is coming from a book known of as Awakening the Healing Light. Why are they talking about this same Big Dipper that I just pointed out to you? They go to confession, the scimitar, constellation of the thigh, which I call the celestial apparatus of executive rulers. We teach that Allah is the bearer. That's the part that you hold. You know, swift angels, which I am one, swift angel number 4 to be exact. We represent the guard. And the blade represent the prophets, masterminds, gurus, master teachers. That's what that scimitar represents. This is what the scimitar looked like before it became pointed. But you can see the relation to why they looked at it as an ox leg. I seen in certain translations of the Bible, it said when Moses slew that Hebrew, he slew him with the leg of an ox. And those of you who read probably have came across that. In other words, they saying Moses put that scimitar on that Hebrew. I meant the Egyptian, not the Hebrew. He put the scimitar on the Egyptian, you know, when he had to flee for his life. So, you know, the star here, same thing. Neter in front of, that's our symbol. The one that Prophet Noble Ali brought us. We can't make this stuff up. You see? I'm giving you things that people want to keep secret, people. You should thank me for this. Look at this. Same thing. Concept of the Big Dipper. That's the scimitar. Right here. Look at that. That's the Big Dipper. Known as the confession in ancient Kemet. And the Little Dipper. Rotating. So, even the symbolism of Prophet Noble Ali, the hand over the heart. Oh, that Masonic. Well, Kemet existed way before Masonry. This is the concept of Kemetic. Look at that. Where's the nearest place we can meet him? In the heart. See the brother standing with his hand over his heart? That's Kemetic. You see? We can't make this stuff up. So a lot of the stuff when they be talking about unto thee I grant, guess who they say wrote unto thee I grant? Oh my God. There's every indication throughout the work, it appears on the following pages that it was written by Amenhotep, Pharaoh of Egypt during the 1360 to 1350 BC thereafter, or by some one of his successors in the great school of mysticism which he founded in Egypt. This is from the same period that the Allah Glyph existed, but these portions that they talk about in Unto Thee I Grant, this is an introduction to that. These pages that were found in Unto Thee I Grant are also in the Moorish Holy Quran. But these are Kemetic in origin. They say they come from Akhenaten. The same, during the same time now. These teaching, if you read these things in our Moorish Holy Quran, you can definitely hear the Kemetic premise in them. But you got to know Kemet to know that. You see? And this is Unto Thee I Grant coming from, you know, Asiatic. Not a European, Swiri Ramethier. That's who it came from. You know, so all that stuff talking about Levi came up with this and that there. Prophet Noble Drew Ali dealt with a teaching that came from many different expressions of sources, but Kemet was the root of the source. You see? And once you understand that, it all makes sense. So the most powerful thing that I showed y'all, and we get ready to open up because I ain't gonna unpack everything here. I put some of it on y'all that want a book. You know, when it get crazy off in here. You know, that's like even the concept of MAPD. Look at this. People don't know that the concept of MAPD really comes from the word Mahi. How do we know this? It means to supervise, to direct. This is Kemetic. Now, this buzzword. He don't know that this stuff corresponding. Look at this hadith they have. Narrated by Jabir bin Mutim. Allah's messenger said, I have 5 names. I am Muhammad. I am Amar. I am Al-Mahi. He didn't say Mahdi, so to speak, but we know Al-Mahi. Let me blow that up. Look at the way this is spelled in the Arabic. Now look at it up here. Mahi. We can't make this stuff up, family. It means to supervise. It means to direct. Al-Mahi means rightly guided one. What is direction? What is supervision? That's somebody guiding you. So again, the Kemetic word represents the cause, and the Arabic word is giving birth to the effect. Look at it. The dot is under the H here in the hadith, just like it's under the H up here in the Egyptian dictionary. So the word Mahi that became Mahdi actually evolved from the Kemetic word Mahi. This is what you call strong words, family. We can't make this up. People been trying to hide this stuff from y'all and confuse you, but Kemetian gonna keep unpacking it and making it plain. And when the people come up in here to refute what it is that I'm saying, I'm gonna beat them up. You know, I used to try to be nice to them, but they played too much, so now I ain't got no mercy on them. So here's another measure. I showed this to y'all before. I showed you this Allah glyph, how it was evolved here, and Sa dropped the many bombs on this. And there it is again, the same Allah glyph, and this is the Mahdi. But what I keep trying to show you is that the word ayah, right here, ayah, ya, la, this is the connection to the word Yahweh. This is the root of the word Allah, ayah. That's why you have people saying Allah is a moon god, and they'll show this picture right here. No. If you look here, they would say the arm is a symbol of Ah, right? And in his hand, he has the eye of Ra. But R is interchangeable with L, so it becomes Ah-Ra, or Allah. Right? Crazy work. Why does this keep coming up? You know, here it is right here. There it is. I'm going to blow that up too for you to see it, if you think I'm playing. This is the same nature that was standing in them glyphs that I was showing y'all before as a representation. This is the actual statue depiction of what I was showing you in the determinatives. They would say this is Ah, and this is Ra. That's Allah. L is interchangeable with the letter R. This is why they be here. Allah's a moon god. This is where they're getting the concept from, but they just don't know what they're talking about. In depth, they don't know the real speaking. See, when you interchange this here, this is Kemetic. Alul, the name of a god. Aul. And when you come down here and understand who Allah Ta'ala is, and then this is Sufi teaching now. It says sometimes the physical or external body, Zahir, that's the external, of the Allah is so weak that if even a mosquito were to bite them, they would be distressed and disturbed. However, their internal condition, batin, which means the inner self, is such that it contains the 7 heavens within itself. Now, you know the teachings of the Sufis come from Kemet through Dul Nun. It says, however, their internal condition, bhati, is such that it contains the 7 heavens within itself. Therefore, one cannot truly estimate the power and the vastness of the internal condition of the bhati, of Allah. In terms of the level of their physical beings, they are with the rest of creation. They earthly. But in terms of the level of their souls, they are constantly in the presence of Allah. So why then would their souls not be able to encompass the 7 heavens? The average intellect is not capable of truly recognizing the status and positions and states and conditions of those that are in the proximity of Allah. In other words, you in the presence of God because God's presence is within you, not outside in the space somewhere. In you. We can't make this up. And this is the real feel of peace that I talked to y'all about. Same one that Ra, remember I told y'all Ra migrated into? Allah, right there. See it right there? This is a state of being, family. So again, to Kemetic teaching, Allah represents a state of being. That's the real supreme being. A state of being that's in you. We're going to correct this Arab nonsense that they've been talking about. You see? So if you go into the dictionary, they'll show you the R is interchangeable with the letter L, as they would say. It ain't strange to say ar, right? Here's another depiction. This is your Allah concept. See that right there? This is the same expression of the Allah. I can't make this stuff up, family. Look at this. That's that disc I was showing you in the beginning with the circle in the middle. So they say this is Ra. Ra is interchangeable with the letter L. So instead of Ah and Ra, it's Allah. Right there. I mean, I showed you the glyph. Now I'm just going into the words and showing you this. Now, this excerpt was taken out of a book that it's called Aliism. It ain't got nothing to do with Noble Drew Ali, by the way, but it's called Aliism. And it was speaking on the name of the Most High. It says, thus was it that the letter A became so sacredly associated with the idea of deity, who was himself called A or Al or Allah, the generic supreme name of God, as worship among the eldest patriarchs, right? It says the life of Allah or God was the life. It says that the true alias always desired to cultivate and lead. Hence, aliism, or the life of God in the soul of man. That's the drawing, family. The life of God within the soul of man. Aliism, the name Allah, God within man. That's the oldest form of religion. It said that was the oldest mode or oldest form of religion, family. We can't make this up. You know, so, I mean, how much more does it take to really prove, you know, these teachings as we have? You see, what else do we need, you know, to convince our people? I mean, like I say, we don't hide the truth. You know, we don't do that over here. We tell you exactly what it is. We give it to you straight, and then we allow you to do the research if you want to research. You see? So like, I'm just encouraging my family out there, man, to do a little deep dive in your research. Like I say, we ain't ashamed to admit that a lot of our teaching come up out of Kemet. Like a lot of people been hiding this stuff. And I got Arab sources as well, family, you know, in here that they'll actually tell you scholarly material. I read some of it to you before. where these people are actually saying that the Arabs themselves, was drawing from a Kemetic reservoir of knowledge, low key. So they low key, they studying the concept of Kemet, but they don't want you to know. See this right here, the Amani Padme Hum, which is the same symbol of scimitar and star. That's the arm, leg, leg, arm, head. That's God and man. I showed y'all this, how all these names that they use for the creator are symbols, are words of power. They all form the shape of a man. We can't make this stuff up. We can't make it up. Look at the concept of the tree of life and look at the DNA helix here. Same thing. So this is showing you God is man. Until y'all start believing like that, you ain't gonna be blessed. God is in man, and he worked through you. Ain't no spook coming to save you. Ain't nobody coming through no clouds. And for those who don't know, this is the hierarchy of angels here. Guess what? This is the concept of third heaven. We call it the Adept chamber. I didn't create this chart. It's out there. Go do the research. Third heaven represent the concept of the creator along with seraphim, cherubim, and the Ophanim. They say knowledge, angels of love, wisdom, understanding, all this stuff go right back to Kemet. Every last bit of it, even the concept of what they like to call Kabbalah, ain't nothing but the Kaaba of Allah, but they don't get that neither. So like we can't make this up, family. Even this symbol of a universal lotus, the lotus represents the crown chakra, unfolding the wisdom. This is many paths to the wisdom. This is why you don't see Kemetian or Moors beefing with people. You can see Sufism in there. You can see everything, Kemet in there, all of that. When you unfold in your wisdom, you will be the same way too, universal in your thought pattern. If you ain't universal and you calling yourself Kemetic, if you ain't universal and you calling yourself Islamic, if you ain't universal and you calling yourself Christian, Hebrew, Seventh-day Adventist, whatever you calling yourself, if your teaching don't give you universal thought pattern, you ain't dealing with the oneness of God. And your monotheism is corrupt. Yeah, I said it. Moorish, if you ain't demonstrating unity, it's corrupt. I speak the truth. I ain't here to appease to nobody and be nobody's friend per se. My people need the truth. Even the concept of the white fez in the Moorish, because I'm giving you the science of Islamism. The word Islam means the source. It means the origin in Arabic. So the sacred science of the fez that we have, Kemetically, you have Ak, Ka, and Ba. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. These are 3 degrees. In the Quran, they call them Istawa, Arsh, and Kursi. These represent different degrees of the throne of Allah. One represents divine authority, one represents divine power, and one represents divine sovereignty. Right there. Akbar. Notice it here. If you don't believe that there's a chakra concept in Kemet, you ain't studied. Ak, Ka, and Ba. These are high realms of spirituality within oneself. The Kat represents the actual body. You see? A more spiritual aspect of it, but it's still the body. You got Ren, which represents the name, Ka'abit, which represents another portion, and Ab, which is the heart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there was a chakra concept that existed in Kemet long before it came into existence, in other places. Even the symbol with one holding out the pyramid, that symbol goes right back to the same teaching that we were speaking of earlier. So again, like you seen it down here, white mean purity, purity mean God, God mean the ruler of the land. Who is that? That Allah that's ruling through you. The Yahweh that's ruling through you. If you ain't God, then who is? Huh? I know this right here hurting somebody ear because they don't believe that they can be God. I know they told you were lower than a whale's turd. I know they told you you wasn't nothing. I know they told you you were somebody's slave. But I'm telling you, you God. And that if you activate your God power, not in a spooky way, if you speak life into the ethers, you can manifest anything you will. That's the Allah I'm talking about. That's the Allah that come from ancient Kemet. Not this new concept that they've been trying to teach you about out there in the cloud somewhere. The God in man that's working through man through deific will. That's what I'm getting at, family. You know, and so I have, like I say, a lot more, but I'm going to stop right here. For those who think that the Arabs wasn't teaching about things of Kemet, this is my closing point right here. And this is actually showing you that the Arabs, right here, for those who don't think that they were affiliated with Kemet, they taught a lot of the teachings. This is from the works of same work I was coming from in our last presentation. It's actually a scholarly work that one was doing based upon, you know, the Arabs and their affinity, so to speak, with ancient Kemet. Look at what it says here. It says the number of hadith relating to Egypt attributed to the prophet varies from one authority to the other. We're talking about Prophet Muhammad, right? Ibn Zahir narrated 10 hadith on the virtues of Egypt. A good example to illustrate this point says, you're going to enter Egypt, a land where kirat, money unit, is used. Be extremely good to them as they have with us close ties and marriage relationships. Dima, Wahara. This is what Muhammad has said to say to his followers about Kemet, the Egyptians. It says the prophet is here referring to the old ties between the Arabs and Egyptians that go back to the marriage of the prophet Ibrahim. The Egyptian woman Hajar, the mother of Ishmael, who is regarded as the father of the Arabs, whereas Hajar is regarded as the mother of the Arabs. It was Ishmael and his father who were credited with building the Kaaba, the most holy place in Islam. And the Muslim sources mention Egyptian craftsmen building it. They're saying the Kemites was the ones that rebuilt it, the Kaaba. That's powerful. Prophet Muhammad is widely quoted in the Muslim sources as having said these 5 hadiths. And this is where it comes from. Y'all didn't hear this part. They taught y'all that the Muslims hated Kemet. How? When that's where their parents come from. When you enter Egypt after my death, recruit many soldiers from among the Egyptians because they are the best soldiers on earth, as they are, and their wives are permanently on duty until the day of resurrection. Be good to the Copts of Egypt. You shall take them over, but they shall be your instrument in help. Egypt has the best soil on earth, and its people are the most generous of all people. Blessing, or barakat, was divided into 10 parts, 9 for Egypt and 1 part for the other land. So the blessings, they say, come mostly from Kemet and only 1 part for other lands. This is what Muhammad was saying according to them. There will be always manifold barakat, blessings in Egypt, more than in all other lands. And boy, do we know this, how much has been pillaged and taken from Kemet, even right now in this new era in time. How much has been stolen, remixed, and repackaged and represented to our people coming from Kemet. Some with good intent, some with keeping the memory of Kemet alive, but some with being in opposition to the culture, trying to destroy it. Huh? And this is why the question was asked. Do they not travel in the land so that their hearts and mind must thus learn wisdom, and their ears must learn to hear? For is it not the eyes which are blind, and the heart and the breast? Travel through the earth and see how creation started. Do they not travel through the earth and see what was the end of those before them who were more numerous and superior in strength and monuments in the land? This is referencing the greatest civilizations to ever be on the earth. That's what the Quran is referencing. Historical measures. You see? So it says the Quranic verses do not form a body of historical knowledge in themselves, but they surely indicate the significance of the historical consciousness for early Muslims by naming specific ancient civilizations. The Quran encouraged its inheritors to further their interest in historical knowledge of these civilizations. Egypt is named or clearly alluded to some 30 times in the Quran. For a complete list of the verses, see Suyuti Husi. As a result, many medieval commentators on the Quran researched and interpreted these references, a number of them being in context of the stories of Joseph, Moses, Israelites, Yusuf. It says 1991, that's the author. It says, it should not be forgotten that Willis Egypt is referred to in the Quran some 30 times. It is also mentioned in the Bible 680 times. That's more than the name of Jesus. Egyptian scholar Abu Jafar al-Idrisi, 1251 CE, dedicated the first chapter of his book Anwar, citing the Quranic verses that will motivate Muslims to study monuments and histories of ancient peoples. He also tells the story of a Moroccan man who went on a pilgrimage to Mecca, and on his return home hasted to attend the lesson of his master, the sage or sheikh Abu Zakir al-Biyasi, who taught medicine and other sciences. We know that comes from Kemet as well, right? His teacher warmly welcomed him back and then said, tell me, what have you seen of the pyramids of Egypt? But not what you were told. This is what his master teacher asked him. And this is what the student replied. Oh, teacher, I have nothing of direct sightseeing to tell you. To this, the teacher responded angrily. Despicable is the student of knowledge and wisdom whose endeavor does not arouse his determination to see the light of the pyramids, nor stirs his eagerness and passion to see whatever can be seen of marvels. There was nothing to prevent you from informing us about them and from speaking as a witness here of what you saw, but a swift ride or push of a boat. The sluggish one does not deserve to be adorned with the essences of wisdom. That's what his master teacher told him after he basically told him, I went to Kemet, but I didn't study nothing about the Kemet. I didn't see the pyramid or nothing. He admonished him. The student immediately departed back to Egypt for no other reason than to see the pyramids. This is a Muslim now. See, y'all didn't hear this part of Islam. Y'all didn't hear the reverence that they were teaching of. The heritage of the prophet. They go into it. And one more thing, and I'm going to open up real quick. This one thing here. They were speaking of the Count of Hermes, and a lot of people laughed when I told them about, Hermes, being the Greek form of what they call Tehuti, or thought. Tehuti means divine mind. Tehuti manifests through many cultures. Tehuti manifests through many cultures, even not just in one time. Tehuti represents divine mind. Divine mind has come through a lot of our people. I'll give you a prime example. Divine mind has manifested itself through our brother Noble Drew Ali. It manifested itself through our brother Marcus Mosai Garvey. It manifested itself through our brother Elijah Muhammad. It manifested itself through our brother Clarence 13X. It manifested itself through our brother Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. It manifested itself through our brother Malcolm. Divine mind came through these men. It manifested itself through Martin Luther King. Everybody that had charisma or were charismatic, this was the divine mind manifesting it through the people. That is the true meaning of Tehuti, not some old fake neter that you see as an ibis bird being engraved on the walls or inscribed on papyri. All that's symbolic, and that can be unpacked as well. But the concept of the divine mind that manifests itself throughout the climes and the times of the cycles and the ages, these master teachers, that's Tehuti. That's why he's often being associated with starting civilization. In fact, in certain tradition, they say he was the teacher of Al-Sar. You say, well, Al-Sar wasn't no physical person he was. Yes, he was. All set was physical too. Heru was physical too, just not in the way that you see physical. All-Sa represented the king that reigned supreme on the throne in ancient Kemet. His son represented Heru. His wife represented All Set. So as tradition goes and generations come about, All-Sa, All Set, and Heru would be immortal because they would come through the new kingship of the new God man and God woman that would rule and give birth to a child. And as this continues to go on, if Kemet was still established today, then they will still be reigning supreme. But now they reign through brothers like Kemetian. Now they reign through brothers like sa.neter. People that's out here really trying to teach the people. Not in a spooky way. It's just like when we talk about the halls of Amenti. We're not talking about some spooky place. The halls of Amenti are the underworld of ancient Kemet, represent that which is beyond what you can see with your physical eyes. It's the essence of your being. That's the real underworld. It ain't nowhere up under the earth or in the sky somewhere. It's a part of what you really are. That's Ament. That's the real hall of Amenti. So anyway, they were speaking on Hermes, the cop. You know, they talked about, you know, the builders in the temples who write the script of the temples or what they call Kat al-Barabi, the hieroglyphs. And here's how it looks. And they didn't give no example of that in here. But it says in our time, nobody knows how to read it because only the elite among them were writing it. And this is why we keep telling you, people think they read sa.neter, but you're reading Champollion's methodology. They would not allow the common people to do so. The ones in charge of it were their sages and priests. It has the secrets of their religion and the origin of sciences, which nobody was allowed to see, but their priests who did not teach it to anyone unless ordered to do so, basically. We can't make this stuff up, family. You see what I'm saying? So I have a lot in here. It even tells in some cases Egyptian deities were translated into prophets and angels in order to ally them more closely to Islam and Christianity. Wow. So Islam, Christianity, Judaism took from the Neteru and they brought forth angels. So the Neter and the Neteru represented angels to the Christians and the Muslims and the Jews, so-called. A good example is the explanation given by Ibn al-Wardi of creation of the earth. Now, this is a Muslim now. Following the rule of theory of ancients, there must be a sky under the earth like one above it. It is said when the glorious God created earth, it was tilting like a ship, so God sent an angel who went down until he was underneath the earth and carried it upon his shoulders. And then he put his hand out to the east, right? And it says, in other words, to the west, and he held the seven earths, earth and its spheres, restrained in it until it was stable. But the angel's feet did not have a platform to stand on, so God sent a bull from heaven for the angel to stand on. That's a symbol of the God lifting up. You know, you seen the symbol, the deity lifting up the heavens, having both hands uplifted, demonstrated in an Islamic source. They got it from Kemet. Man, I got so much over here. It say in this text, we see the melange of ancient Egyptian iconography relating to the primeval god Nun, that's what I was just describing, and the common image of him carrying the ship of the Son of God. It says at the beginning of creation and of attempts to explain the disappearance of the feet of Nun into the earth. That's what the Arab Muslim was describing. Plate 40 in the Egyptian text. There are ancient Egyptian texts referring to the creator, the sun god, and one of his manifestations as one fixed the sky on his head. Such texts show familiarity with ancient Egyptian religious scenes encountered during visits to tombs, chapels, temples, as well as illustrated by Ibn Umayr. Another early Arab scholar to remark on the continuous thread that continued different phases of Egyptian religion was al-Baghdadi. You know, so this Egyptian influence, family, cannot be hidden. This document here that I have, it break all of it down. So many pages. I can't give it all to you at one time. But they talk about the belief in the oneness of God, praising the functionary medias like the stars. Ancient Egyptian, now closer to Islam, claiming that the ancient Egyptian believe in the oneness of God. So in other words, they'll tell you that the original, they say the original prophet in the Islamic teaching, they say he was Tehudi. Moses wasn't sent to the Egyptians. So the first prophet that was sent to, you know, the Egyptians, according to Islamic sources, was Tehudi. They called him Akhnuk. Akhnuk. You know, Akhnuk or Enoch. Same entity. You know, so yeah, it says it does not affect their creator for their glorify these mediums to worship God. So the Arabs understood that they wasn't praising these stars and worshiping these stars, that they seen the adoration in creation and that they were giving praise to the Most High. So the original Kemetic belief system is not worshiping some demigods and all these many gods and polytheism that the year that came when the Hyksos came into Kemet. Somebody that didn't understand Kemet and understood, you know, the concept of the Neteru, and they came in when they usurped it. They said, oh, we the gods now. And then that's when this man worship came into play, worshiping gods outside itself. Now, ancient Kemites had a pure form of Egyptian monotheism that was so pure that you would think that they were worshiping stars because of how they revered the stars. You would think they were worshiping man or woman on how they revered everything in creation. They wasn't worshiping these things. They were revering them. You see? So yeah, I got somebody that did a whole video, a whole page against me, family. A brother by the name of Maurice Hines. He seen my videos on this stuff, and this is where I'm stopping at. And he got a whole page where he wrote a book about me because of my teachings. He an Arab-biased brother. Orthodox Islam, you know how the Arabs like to write books against somebody that they consider bringing bitter. His brother got a whole page, family, where he done went and created with Kemetian, talking about Kemetian over there talking about, you know, Tehudi, and he talking about the Sabians is really the Cushites. Man, if y'all see this here, I'm gonna go over that one day with y'all. But nevertheless, family, in that closing, they were speaking on the emerald tablets. And it says Muslim alchemists regarded this Hermes as one of the founders of the science of alchemy. They claimed that he was the source of their own material and knowledge, as did Abu Qasim al-Iraqi. It was Hermes who wrote the first tableau, what they call Samardina, you know, the emerald tablet, which contained the key to all the secrets of the universe. For the literature on this tablet, it says it gives reference to Khan, another artist, what I call author, so to speak. It says the name of this tablet in Arabic is Allahil al-Mahfuz. If you're familiar with that, that's called the preserved tablet. So the preserved tablet in Islam is really the emerald tablet, or the tablet Samarkand, pardon itself. And that was actually in the occult world is what they call it. So it says this glorious Quran, you know, also what they speak of, is inscribed in an eternally preserved tablet. This ain't the physical Quran. This is the Quran of the creation, the book of creation. It says, meaning that the rebel book for Muslims has been in eternal existence. It is already being noted that Hermes was Islamicized in these Arab sources, and that alchemists elevated his tablet to reverend status as the origin of their sacred knowledge. This idea is rooted in ancient Egyptian materials, as can be seen in the rubrics in the Book of the Dead, where magical spells were believed to be found on the tablet of real lapis lazuli. That's what they talk about when they say the emerald tablets. Lapis lazuli is actually what you find even in the area of Sarabat al-Qadim, the mines of Hathor, Het Heru. It's a green color. You see? But yeah, it's a whole lot, family. I just want to stop right there. Y'all see I got 270 slides. Still ain't unpacked this thing yet. You know, it'll take some time to do it. you know, but Hermes, you know, Trismegistus is a name that was given to, you know, and they say he was from Egypt after the flood. They say he taught Asa when he left what they call the lost city of Atlantis, which was real too. Unfortunately, our people think it's fake. But anyway, you know, so yeah, this divine mind, Tehuti, that's where the science of Islamism comes from, that we demonstrate in this Moorish paradigm. That's the same science that allowed me to tap into all of this information, unpack it and give it to you as it is, you know, and just give you the truth. Now, what you do with that, that's on you. I'm going to stop sharing right here real quick. I want to see what my beloved brother Sa had to bring forth. Brother Sa, you there?
I'm right here.
Yes, sir. And I'm open. Now, what you think about that Allah glyph, brother Nature? We can't get by that one. I didn't expect that one, Sa.
Man, I had people calling me. This dude, Kemetian, is bringing that information. He going in, you know.
Man, that's crazy.
I had one dude call me and told me that you going off, you wilding out. You know, I said, well,
yeah, because they don't know it.
sa.neter's not asleep. sa.neter right here all this time, you know.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we give honor to you again, Sa, because like I said, a lot of people, I know that some of this information is over their head, but you can't deny what's right there in front of you. Like, why is this Allah glyph always forming a man? Even in ancient Kemet, why is that, Sa? Or it's forming some portion of the body of the man. What is this? You know, so I'm giving them the proper understanding of where it come from. Now, right. They can get mad and say, "Stock for Allah, brother." Because, you know, I know some of the Orthodox brothers, they mad at me now. You know what I mean? But we go ahead, brother.
I wouldn't be surprised if Brother Lai hit the link.
He might hit it, but, you know, Lai, he like to hit and run. He never come forth at me. He like to come on the back end and say some crazy stuff. You know, so like I said, we need to stop hiding the truth. You know, admit where your teaching come from, and you might be able to salvage what it has become now, which people ain't really dealing with. So you want to open up the floor for people to come in, Sa, all is well. For questions or comments. If you're speaking, I can't hear you, so I think you muted out. There you go.
If y'all have any questions, this is the time right now to come in and ask your question. Don't be talking all that crazy stuff in the chat. Now it's time to face the man that's teaching. Beautiful, beautiful lesson from part 1. You know, powerful teaching, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We trying to teach y'all the reality of God, man. Stop dealing with spookism. I'm telling you, life gonna be more blessed. Why y'all think Saul so blessed? Because he deal with real ism. I talked about that in that debate Coliseum.
There you go. That's right.
Ism is the word that Saul is using, but in the Arabic, ism means the reality of God.
There you go. You hear that?
Yeah. It's a difference between.
Are you from Chicago?
Everybody think I'm from Chicago. Nope, but I was raised by some brothers that's from Chicago, so to speak. You know, I come up under that, and I got a lot of teaching from brothers from there. You know, so that's why people be thinking I'm from the Chi for some reason. I had a sister think I was from Detroit. You know, all the time. I'm straight from Florida. Y'all can't hear that country accent I got. I'm just universal.
Come on, family, y'all. Nobody want to come in?
They never want to come in, son. They be talking that noise, and then when it comes time to get up in here, don't nobody want to come up in here. Silence, church mouth cried, like my grandma used to say. She used to say, I don't want to hear a rat pissing on cotton. That's basically what's going on. And family, you can come up here and give the bill. It ain't got to be contentious. Go ahead, Saw. What you say? It's got you muted.
Here come that war child kid in the building. Yo, your screen is black, man. What's up?
That's my brother Zion, the war
Yeah,
child.
you know,
Yo, your screen is black, man. What's up, brother?
Is it? It looks clear.
Yeah, your screen is black.
Oh,
Yeah,
hold on. Let me come back.
Cube, what it is, man? Cube, you got a new cartoon character. What's up, man? Unmute yourself, Cube.
The atheist that has the limbs of Allah and can't deny it. How can you get past that, Cube? How can you get past Yahweh in your DNA? How can you do it, bro? You can deny it, but they still in you and it's on you.
He don't want to talk right now. Let me go to.
Hey, can you see me?
Yeah, I see
Yes,
you.
All right, yo, what's up, Kamisha? That's my brother, not your blessed love, King. Yo,
Yes,
how you
bro.
gonna forget the last king, the last reigning God King of the Nile
Oh
Valley?
yeah, Haile Selassie.
Come on, B.
yeah, most definitely. That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Let's
I
not.
was just trying to
Let's
go
not-
ahead, bro.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I like what you do. You already know, man. You know what I'm saying? I shoot, man. 200 slots, bro. You make
You
me
see,
look
it's actually 300.
three. Man, you make me look foolish, B. I be only 50
Oh,
slides.
Ain't no joke, man. Oh.
You can't even get through my slides.
Yo, you know what? As of today, he have taken the title from JJ. He is now the HOK.
Uh-oh.
He is indeed the HOK GOAT. And the reason I give him the title, the HOK GOAT, is because a lot of people scared to challenge him. They scared to come in and question him. I had Smash Rockwell, and all of them was going at him. Smash, Reggie. And when he called them out, they tucked their tail, brother. They was talking all that trash. Remember that? Remember that, brother? Kemetian?
I'm the reason why a lot of them see through them. A lot of them now.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
they can't get that stuff off like they used to. No.
Random dudes off, man.
You
So
know,
Kemetian is
and
now
all I was trying to
HOK GOAT right now. He's the GOAT, the HOK GOAT.
and we appreciate that honor, Saka. One thing about it, you a truthful
You
brother.
deserve that, brother. You deserve that.
Yeah, you know, until they come up here.
We don't have the GOAT, and you the GOAT. You the GOAT.
Very
So-
little people put in the same kind of work that brother Kemetian put in, B. As
Right.
far as
This
studies,
dude had over
his writings and
25,
teachings,
man. And come
Word.
on, man.
Word.
And Sa,
Yeah.
it's something I wanted to show you too, real quick, just briefly. Nothing to really give a drawn out measure. I want to show you this here because I meant to share this. Let me share this real quick. This was something that I meant to share, but I didn't share. Right here. And this is more proof on what I was saying earlier. I'm gonna just hit entire screen. That way I make sure I'm sharing everything. Let's see here. Right here. I gotta start writing these books too, man. You see that there, Saw from the 18th dynasty?
Yep. Oh, I
That
see.
is most definitely the law glyph, bro.
I see that.
Again, that is it, brother. And guess what they call it? Vessels. That mean that what do you put in vessels? Vessels hold things.
Right.
But
Yep.
coming from the 18th, why would they using this symbol? You the vessel. You the vessel. So I said the same metal ray and connect that was used by the Remic Kemetic during the time of Akhenaten to represent the sa.neter and proto-alaglyph of ancient Kemet were used to represent three vessels in the metal netter, minus doubt or contradiction. According to this primary source material, these three vessels are a representation of the triune Allah, which equates to wisdom, will, and love. That's what we pouring into our people out of these vessels. A sacred libation poured from the highest plane of spirit life into the hearts and minds of every Egyptian adept that came before us. Allah, Ali, in we. And last but not least, we had to get them with this one. Tehuti, is known as the ibis or the ibis bird. You see him here. How in the world, when you get into calligraphy in the Arabic, so that the calligraphy of Allah is also looking like Tehudi in the Kemetic language?
Yeah, I'm
That's
not seeing.
insane. You can see that, right?
No, we can't. We're not seeing it.
Well,
We
we ain't
see what you're
talking about you.
presenting.
We ain't talking about you because you can't see the God in yourself. I'm talking
Oh,
to the
okay, my
people
bad.
that want to see what's going on. You don't believe in the Most High because you don't believe God is in you. You can't see him within you. I respect that. We talking to the people that do see it. You can see that the calligraphy that the Arabs came up with for the name of Allah is the same as the calligraphy expression of the name that deals with our expression of Tehudi right here. We can't make this stuff up, man. Dynasty 18. Coming out of the same dynasty of Islamic monotheism that was created by Akhenaten. Them Arabs stole that too. But I'm going to stop with that right there, so that's just overkill. Now come on up here.
You got a question, Q?
Well, I think King J was here first. We can go with him because I don't want to get kicked off
you
so
was
fast.
here first, brother. You was here first.
Oh, okay. I just didn't want to get kicked off so fast. I wanted to wait a little bit. But
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
all right. What's going on, Kemetian? Your mic is muted, bro.
I muted it so y'all can speak and say your piece and ask me anything. I said, respond.
Okay, good. Okay, so what is the God? Oh, there's an echo. Got it. So what is the God that you believe in? Is it Allah? Is it a Kemet God, or do you just mishmash them and put them all together? But what is the God that you actually pray to? Because you said you don't pray to the East because you said the East is now no longer a direction. It's just something that's within you. So that's interesting in and of itself. But what is the God that you pray to?
Well, first and foremost, I didn't say it was a new direction. I said true East is within. So quote me right. Not outside of the self. The God I worship is the God within. In the paradigm that I study and we teach, we say we don't worship gods outside of the self. That's polytheism. Worshiping many gods outside of the self. Worshiping demigods or somebody else. It can be an idea. It can be a concept, that is outside of you. What I'm talking about is realism, the reality of God within man. And I made that plain throughout the whole conversation. Like I said, a lot of Arabs will be upset, but the proof is in the pudding. Everything I said done prove what I said. I mean, I showed you through the glyphs, God being a representation of the man in the hieratic language, the Demotic language. Then I showed you the concept of arm, leg, arm, head, which is on you. You can't get it off you. Then I showed you again within your DNA, God is in you. So I don't believe in a spook God. I believe that I am God, brother. And I worship the God within.
Okay, good. Thank you for that community college answer. But let's kind of get down to brass tacks here. So is God also within homosexual and pedophile men? Is God also within those particular type of men?
If you choose that to be your God, I don't believe in him. That's a God outside of myself. I only deal with God.
You said everybody is God, though.
I said what I said. That's what you said. Everybody is a God, right?
No,
I said I'm God. I said God you God too. Listen, I said I'm God and you God too.
Right.
Now, when this homosexual thing is,
his question
I don't believe in God. Hold up, King J. Don't do what you do all the time. I'm gonna let you speak. I believe in the God within me. I don't worship gods outside of itself. So if you believe homosexual God, that's you. That's your business. I don't believe in that. I don't subscribe to that. Don't mean I hate the people, but that's the God they believe in. That's what they choose to worship.
Right. But according to your theory that everybody is their own God, even those homosexuals would be a God unto themselves, right?
First and foremost, again, brother, I'm gonna say it again,
brother. We listen to what you're saying, brother. No, we listen to what you're saying.
You gonna talk or you gonna listen?
That's what we've been doing, brother, for 3 hours. Listening to you.
So again, what does homosexuality have to do with this conversation?
It's what you
I
just
don't
said.
worship that. No, that's what you said. Don't sit up here and lie now.
What is cute?
Y'all brought
I'll let him make
homosexuality.
the argument.
Sa.neter, did I bring homosexuality in this conversation?
Hell
No,
no.
I did.
Hell
I
no.
did.
What are they
brought it
talking
up,
about?
but you're missing the point that he's
And what
making.
did I just tell him, Sa.neter, about this homosexual God?
You told him you ain't down with this stuff, man.
And that's the God they worship. And it's a God outside of me,
So
right?
you debunked yourself.
It don't get no plainer than that.
It
So
don't
what
get
are
much
they asking?
better than that right there.
Why y'all even thinking on that level?
Word, man. Come on, Q. Come on, King J.
Well, let me explain it to you.
You already know that I call him fruity anyway. So
That's
now
fine.
he just bringing it on up out of here. He don't like it when I call him out, but I know he in the closet. I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but I know it. And he get upset when I say it.
No.
Okay, well,
Let me just clarify.
So if you hold up, Q, I'm gonna let you speak, brother. If you subscribe to that, brother, I want to tell you, I don't mean no disrespect to you. You live in your truth. But what I'm saying, don't try to force, like I ain't trying to force my God on nobody. All I'm doing is doing a presentation up here. But you shouldn't try to force your God. What I am trying to inspire is unity between all people. Because truth be told, let's get real. All of us got somebody that's like that in their family somewhere down the line. You may know them or don't know them.
True.
You
That's
see what I'm
true.
saying? All of us. I have a cousin.
I got a sister.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. I had a cousin that was gay. Looked just like a woman. But he would never be disrespectful and try to push his way of life on people. Everybody respected him because he never tried to push his way of life on people. He was just him. So it's the same thing with our way of life when it comes to religion. We shouldn't try to force, more shouldn't try to force, Morism on nobody. A Hebrew shouldn't try to force Hebrewism on nobody. A Muslim shouldn't try to force this on nobody. Let people live how they live, but that's their level. We have a term in the Moorish paradigm. I'm gonna let you speak, Q. Well, we say,
thank you.
Well, we say this. This is what we say. We say, as man unfolds, his God unfolds. That's in the Moorish Holy Quran. In other words, man may be at a level of God and thinking God is an idol at some time. Then a man may grow into a deeper understanding of that. But as man understands, he grows, he unfolds. That's his God consciousness unfolding. So we getting away from the spookism. I don't believe nobody out there in the clouds. I believe God is in me. And I believe God is in creation. I rever creation. That's the Kemetic way. So go ahead, Brother Q.
Good. So yeah, let me clarify one thing. Brother, I do not get upset. Yeah, you may have to mute because there's a echo.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do not get upset if you may make false claims that I'm a homosexual, if you say this or negative things about me. I'm not that type of person. One thing about me, I give it up so hard, pause, that I understand when it comes back, I got to be ready for it. So I can care less about what people say when they make false claims, ridicule, things of that nature. I'm totally cool with that, brother. I'm never going to be upset about you making false claims about me because I know when I hit back, it's 10 times harder. So now let me deal with this because what I tried to do is I tried to analyze your logic to show you that there was a flaw in your logic. That's simply what I did. So when you ask these simple Simon questions about, oh, who brought up homosexuality? Yes, I did bring up homosexuality to show the flaw in your logic. So if your logic is that all man is God and then God represents man and man represents God, then there must be some homosexual deities out there. And these are the deities that you don't even want to claim. And you even furthermore bit off more than you can chew by even saying that you have a cousin that's a homosexual. Well, that person must have to have God within them. Brother, knock it off, brother. This is why we're gonna have to get you.
Drop that bomb. Drop that bomb, sir. Come on, man.
None of that have nothing to do with the conversation that we talking about. That's the crazy part of it. It's all cap, my brother. What's wrong with you, brother? You done deviated from the whole conversation that basically edited and put homosexuality on the burner. Now we talking about sissies and a bag of penises and whatever you want to talk about. That's what y'all want to talk about,
Bro, we
bro.
don't gotta
So
use that language.
you let me know. Listen, you let me know you in the phallic worship. You know, because we talking about God within man. Y'all trying to go into a whole nother area because you can't deal with the information.
Come on, y'all. Let's move this conversation. Let's move this to something.
That's right. That's right. I agree, Saw. Prove me wrong. That's what I want to see, Saw. Prove anything I said.
All right, let me bring on. You ain't gotta go, Q. Let me bring on Jose. Jose, what you got for this brother, man?
Good night.
Good night, Jose. What you got for this brother, man? Question,
I have
statement.
3 questions. But let me preface it. I'm not seeing exactly where he's coming from. But I have 3 questions. Where did he learn sa.neter? What dictionaries does he primarily use? And where is the word God?
You say, well, okay. Well, first and foremost, brother, we have a methodology of the sa. Right. That was his last question. You know, but when we deal with the methodology of sa.neter, brother, we don't deal with Champollion's methodology. I learned it through, you know, the sages, you know, that taught it before Champollion, and right there in my Moorish Holy Quran, we got 70 chapters, unlike the Moorish Science Temple. In our teaching, it tells us how to deal with sa.neter in more than one chapter, like the neophyte Yehoshua did. And that was contemplation, that was meditation, that is going within. And I gave some of the examples up there and showed it to you. So sa.neter in its original state is metaphysical, my brother. Now, as far as the name God being in existence, in the sa.neter, the word nature came to represent the word, you know, as God to most scholars. So the word God is an English word, you know, but God has always been in reference to a man. You know, even in Arabic, they don't really consider God the name for the Most High. Same thing with the Hebrew. So my sa.neter concept and methodology is way different from yours, brother. You follow the way of Champollion, and they feel like that's done, but that didn't exist. And like Saul was just telling you, I exposed Reggie and a lot of them brothers because they couldn't produce an alphabet. Unc was the only one that admitted that there was no alphabet. And until you can prove that there was an alphabet chart created by the ancient Egyptians, the same as that in which Champollion had, then, brother, you just going off Champollion methodology. I'm sorry to tell you that, but that's the truth. Because it didn't exist. The ancient Egyptians didn't use that. You see, so I know what they're doing. I know how they did it, and he did it with the Greek language. It's really Greek what you're dealing with an admixture of Coptic. It ain't even hieratic or demotic. So if you know Egyptian, brother, then why don't you know hieratic? And if you say hieratic is shorthand, so you can write it quicker, then if it's the easiest way to write it quicker, then why don't you know anything about hieratic? I guarantee you, if I pull a hieratic paper up here in front of you right now, you wouldn't know what to say. But I'm not going to do that to you, brother, because I ain't going to pick on you. All I'm going to say is go do your studying and read. You feel me? And I say that out of all love, brother.
But what dictionaries do you use?
Let me jump in here, man.
He said, what dictionary do you use?
Like I was telling him, I go word by word and fact check what was given. So I take a combination of, for example, dictionaries. And then when I go into those dictionaries, I vet the words. I vet the words by going through various different languages. And when I go through those different languages, those languages will let me know, you know, what has been tampered with and what ain't been tampered with. Because pure words, they come down through a descendancy. You know, and they can be traced back to the source. It's certain words that come from Kemetic that come right into the English. Like the word mayor, for example. The word mayor comes from the word mir, which means overseer, the same word Smash them was talking about.
Oh my God.
But that's a whole nother measure. You know, I did that presentation on here before. Y'all, a lot of y'all behind. Y'all still ain't caught up to measures I did in the past. But see, if your mind is only adjustable to what it is Rome is giving you, I know it ain't nothing I can tell you anyway. You feel me? And I ain't trying to convince you. You know, I'm putting this out here for the people that want to learn and think outside of the box.
But it got to be correct information, Chief. You got to be correct.
Oh, it's correct. I got a source to back. I got a source to back up everything I say. Ain't nothing I say out here I can't back with a source. And have not backed it with a source.
Yo,
yes, sir.
King J, all you got to do is say you would like to take him on in a discussion. Simple as that, King J.
I do have a couple questions for him. I listen to him, and please believe I respect him enough. I took notes, you know, so I can ask proper questions. You know what I'm saying? So, so basically, the problem I have with what he's saying is with the word Allah, right? So I'm taking the word Allah to be a combination of the word al, a definite article al, as the, and Allah as deity. I got an echo.
Yeah, he's so ready to respond, he can't stay on mute.
I got an echo. Yeah. So Allah, that is the deity, right? So when we go back to those 360 idols, or those 360 ilahs, right? That was in the Kaaba, right? Those there was a deity amongst those called Allah, right? The deity. Correct. If I'm correct, I want you to chime in at this point and tell me before I continue if I'm right or wrong.
You're wrong. And I showed you that. You did this in the last.
In what way?
Can you let me speak? Can you let me speak? Mute your mic, brother. Don't ask me a question. You do this all the time, King J. Don't ask me a question and try to disrespect me, because I'm letting you build. I'm muting out for you to build. So, brother, we had this conversation last time, and I proved to you that Allah and Al-Ilah is not the same. So you going back to a same recycled conversation, which is
That's
nothing.
A different question, brother. Did you want me to react?
Brother, will you stop? Will you stop cutting in, brother? Didn't I mute out to let you build?
But you're answering the wrong question. I didn't say that.
Brother, you said how many gods out of listen. You said it was Allah, King J. You said it was Allah among the deities that were worshipped in the Kaaba, and I said no. I just listen.
You misquoted me. I said, can I quote myself the correct way?
Go ahead.
I didn't say that.
Go ahead.
I said it was Allah amongst the ilahs. So the word that ilah that you use for deity was ilah. So make note that I'm making a distinction amongst the word ilah and the noun Allah. Allah is the name of the ilah. Allah is the name of the deity. Okay, now continue.
All right. And so if he talked when I cut it, if he cut in, remove him from the panel. So again, brother, ilah mean many gods. That's why I say there is no God but Allah. Ilah mean many gods, bro. Allah and Ilah is not the same. I proved that in the first presentation. Like I said. So when you say is Allah among the Ilahs, Allah was always known as the supreme God, brother. And I covered that in the last presentation. Even in pagan Arabia, Allah was known as the supreme deity, bro. And they wouldn't associate partners with him. This is in Islamic poetry. So you got to get your facts straight, brother. None of what you saying have anything to do with the conversation that we're talking about. Can y'all stick to the subject matter is what I want to know. I want to hear y'all refute what I said. I don't want to hear about these wayward arguments that got nothing to do with nothing. Address the information with facts. Bring some presentation up here, like show us the proof on how I'm wrong. We don't want to hear your opinion. We respect it, but we want to hear what you got to say about the presentation, bro. Did you even know what was I talking about? What was the subject matter? Because this stuff is distraction.
Brother, You started off by saying that the word that the Arabic was went back to demonic. I'm in the chat. I'm saying demonic is Greek. So why are you going to the saying it's demonic? You going to demonic? I'm like, that's Greek. That's 650
Bro, don't
BC.
do yourself
That's not
like
even
that.
matter. You cutting me off. You spoke for 3 hours. You cutting me off. I said that's not even. I said that's not even matter. That's Greek. So why are you showing that Arabic goes to Greek? At that point, there was, like you said, at that point there was no meta.
You know how crazy you just made yourself look, brother? Talking about demonic is Greek.
Hieratic, and demonic. Demonic is 650 BC.
Hold up, bro. Listen. Show me, okay, pull up the Rosetta Stone and show me some hieratic on the Rosetta Stone.
What does that have to do with the argument that I just made? You're talking about the Rosetta Stone.
It got a lot to do with it.
You said
Greek
that
is not demonic, bro.
You said that we're looking for the word God in the demonic. So why are we going to the Greek? They don't have it in meta. That's the point.
King J. Hieratic is not Greek, and nor demonic is not Greek, bro. What are you talking about? You look crazy for saying
demonic is Greek.
Show me the demonic.
The word demonic is Greek. It's the Greek word.
King J.
The word demonic is a Greek word.
Listen. Didn't I tell you that the true word is second insha? See, you don't listen. You don't listen, brother. You do not listen. Now pull up what you call in demonic and show me what it is.
Brother, you said that the word
demonic and Greek is the same thing.
Every time I talk, brother. Can I speak?
So get him off the panel.
I can't speak.
Come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on, don't do that, man. At least set up a conversation with the brother.
We got to because he don't want to have a conversation. He want to argue.
He asked you to mute while he
that ain't got nothing to do. Bro, I've been muting out every time he talk. But then when I speak, he try to speak over me.
Okay,
and so when that happens, then he try to go back and forth. He can't do it. He ain't disciplined enough to do it. For you, I muted out Q.
Anyway, I'm getting ready to close out. I'm getting ready to close out.
If you don't want to debate, if you don't want to set up the debate, just be quiet, bro. That's what it boiled down to at the end of the day.
King J, you want to set up the debate with the brother?
Debate me that demonic and Greek is the same thing that you just said.
Not right now. I would need time to prepare for that. My schedule, I couldn't do it, bro. I wouldn't want to disappoint. For my first debate, it got to be special. You worthy, bro.
No, we ain't talking about right now, King J. It could be scheduled. We ain't talking about right now. You talking about maybe in 2 weeks?
July.
He got to study 3 months to deal with
the King J in July. Are you serious?
I'm a tattoo artist, so you know I got stuff booked up for June for sure.
All right. But anyway, Q, you want to say something else before we get out of here? I'm out. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah. Last thing, last thing I'll say to the brother Kemetian. So if you're saying that God is the representation of man, so what man do you worship? And before you say you worship yourself, I'm talking about the God, this creator, that is the creator of yourself. And before you say you are the creator of yourself, I'm going to ask you to demonstrate, can you create yourself right now here?
Yeah, I did. I created myself. I was there in the beginning.
So I just boot me out of here now. No, I'm playing. Yeah. Listen, I want to set up a debate with you, bro.
I got a son. They think he's my brother. One of my twins. Both of them look just like me. I recreated myself.
But he's not you by the mere fact that you call him your son. So we know that's not you.
Well, nice try, all over again. He me all over again. He the next to ring on the throne.
Yeah, okay.
Just like also passing it down the Harun.
So yeah, right.
And so becomes also.
Okay, so can you prove that you were here at the beginning?
Oh yeah, I'm here now.
So you want to debate? So you want to debate that?
I'm here now.
So do you want to debate that you are God and you've been here since the beginning? Oh,
brother.
he's scratching
Let
his
me ask
head,
you a
y'all.
question.
He's
Let me
scratching his
ask you a
head.
question.
You know
Let
what
me
time
ask you
it
a
is.
question. Let me ask you a question. What are you made of?
A lot of different things.
A whole lot of different things, right? You made of
A bunch
nitrogen.
of stuff.
You made of oxygen. You made of hydrogen, carbon. That's what make you a human being, right? Wasn't that from the beginning of
No,
what you know to
nice
be the
try.
beginning?
No, nice try
Wasn't
though.
that what you know from the beginning of what you know to be the beginning of your being?
Listen, there are some things that are here that's been around for billions of years, but there are some new things. Like nice try, but no. So do you want
You
to have that
still ain't
debate?
getting what I'm saying.
No, I hear
You
what you're
still
saying.
ain't,
I'm just
you
debunking
still
it.
ain't getting what I'm saying. That you was here in the beginning.
No,
Now
brother.
you do know science teaches what we call panspermia, right?
No, they
You
don't.
know
But
what
nice try.
panspermia is? You know what panspermia is, right?
Yeah, it's a fringe, nonsensical theory that a lot of pseudos
Oh,
use.
nonsensical theory that pseudos
Yeah,
use.
yeah.
Commission was one of the first people that started talking about it.
And henceforth,
You
the
see,
pseudo that I was
but you
referencing.
have no idea of what it is. Listen, the general opinion of men will never alter the nature of the truth, Junior. So
Did you
what
just
you
call me
say
pseudo?
and what you believe, that's exactly what I call you. So what you say and what you believe, family, what I'm trying to tell you is that you simply believe it to be the truth.
Mm.
I know what I speak the truth, and I know that I can speak life into existence and manifest what I want, and I've done it, and I do it. You know, so that's what it boils down to. My God is a reality, not a
No, no,
fantasy.
no.
I didn't
Your
say
God is
something.
within you. Your God is
That's right.
within you.
That's right. That's
That
right.
same God that's in that homosexual cousin of yours, right?
I hear you, bro, with that foo-foo. But anyway, at the end of the day, like I said, if you
When
want
you
to come
die,
and
that when you
debate
die, does your God
on a
die?
sensible level, we can debate, brother. Other than that, we're gonna let Saw close this thing out with debate Coliseum.
This dude always run from me. Hey, but that's a nice little track though. I ain't gonna lie. I like the little track. I like the
Run
little
from you.
track.
Q, you the one ran from the debate. Saw set up. Don't let me call Saw seen you now.
No, listen.
Years ago.
That's totally fine,
Everybody
brother.
know you ran.
That's totally
Everybody know
fine.
you ran.
So
So
so if
anyway,
I ran then and you're running now, does that make us equal?
who running now? I'm saying let's debate.
Okay, when you want to
What are you
do it?
talking about? I'm
When you
saying
want to
let's
do it?
debate.
Okay, listen. I have
I
a
want to
debate
debate
coming.
the original topic we was gonna debate.
It was can you
Dealing
prove
with
the
the God code
hold on, what
or
was it again?
atheism. The one we were dealing with the God code or atheism.
But what is the God code? You gotta jog my memory. Help me out.
That God is in you.
What he just
Because you say
showed,
he didn't exist.
that little
That
chart he just
God is
showed.
in you.
Okay, so see, this is what I was trying to get you to give me some answers about. So this God that you're talking about, you're saying that this God is within you, and like King
That's
just
right.
said, when you die, does that God also die?
You don't die. Who told you?
Brother, can we just get to being honest with each other just momentarily? See, you know what they say when you screen freeze, either you're scared, you're stupid, or you're lying. We see what just happened.
All right, y'all. Um,
All right,
Commission. All right. Peace and blessings to everybody, man. Thank y'all for coming through. We out.
all right, peace, y'all.
Peace, peace. All right. Let me try to wait for Commission so he could close this thing out. Commission, I'm holding on. All right. Peace and blessings. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.